A very good evening, everybody. Nice to have your company wherever you're joining us all around Australia, all around the world. Welcome to SimShed Broadcasting's live and exclusive coverage of the Friday Night Motorsport doubleheader for the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club to end Week 8 of Season 1 in 2021. Tonight, we head back to where we were last night for the first leg of the doubleheader, and then we head to the States for what should be a cracker on the oval in Milwaukee. Of course, first up, Freaky Friday, Combination 25, the Skip Barbers from the famed Oran Park circuit, southwest of Sydney, the 2.62-kilometre circuit there. Qualifying about to wrap up for this, and a very healthy field in the house, which we'll get to in just a moment. And then round 8 of the Sharp EIT, of course, Road to Indy Series with thanks to Motorfocus, and of course that will be the fourth of the 5 ovals. And West Allis, Wisconsin, Milwaukee Mile, bullring time. It's going to be good fun there. Joining me for the first leg of the doubleheader, as he usually does on a Friday night, Nick Fodiatis, mate. I know you're very much looking forward to Milwaukee, as are we. But Oran Park and the Skip Barber, it delivered some goods in the Tin Top doubleheader last night. Let's hope it starts the open wheeler doubleheader in a bang as well.
Yeah, Oran Park, always a fun track. I guess that's obviously a pity it doesn't exist. But yeah, Oran Park, very technical, very tight. Perfect for these little cars, running on radial tyres and bugger all horsepower, but there's still heaps of fun.
Indeed they are. Championship standings as far as Freaky Friday is concerned. Gary Cousins on top 129, plays Adam Lavis 128. Very tight there at the top between those two at the moment. And then 117 is Adam Coughlin in third. 80 for Grant Gill, 73 for Paul Nichols, not on the grid tonight. They round out the top 5. The race stats and info that you need to know ahead of this race of the season. It's a 40-minute race. It's Oran Park. It's 2.62 kilometres. It's 12 turns. Of course, it's located, formerly located in Narell. And if you go there these days, you just find housing estates and roads that aren't wide enough to fit parked cars and kids running around carrying on. It's a completely different dynamic to what it used to be, unfortunately. 60% fuel limit on these cars tonight. Whether that'll require a splash and dash or not remains to be seen. The weather set to the 5th of March 2021, so we've gone back into the previous life, haven't we? The 5th of March was, of course, only a couple of weeks ago. It is 2:42 in the afternoon, but the sun's moving twice as fast as it would in the real world, so don't pay too much attention to that. Partly cloudy and 25 degrees on track. It's 45. The pace car should we need at 72 k's an hour. Pit lane speed 50 kilometres an hour, which is a long slog down the long main straight of Oran Park. Let me give you the tip. 2 fast repair limits here. Incident count penalties start being applied at 20x and then every 6. Yes, 6x thereafter. That's a strange number.
They're tightening down, aren't they?
They're really dumbing down on that, cracking down on it. So that's all the information we need to give you there. This is the combination 25, as we say, for Freaky Friday, which means there's just 2 votes to go. A fair bet that the last track, regardless of how the vote turns out, will be Mount Panorama, because that's just grand final week to a T for you. But we wait to see on that, because obviously the Wings and Slicks will be there on the Monday night to give us an indication first up of what that's going to be like. But that's, of course, a week and a half away. Look at the crowd. How good are the days of Oran Park when you actually had a crowd at a motor racing event? Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, southeast Queensland. Chris Whitaker and Aaron Cooper, the front row. Mikey Hammond and Angus Cook, the second. Trucker Joe Baldwin from the third row alongside Grant Gill. Then Luke Turner and Gary Cousins. Julian Mookie and Lachlan Lawler. Brett Selby Wood and Adam Lavis make up the top 12. Brock Kelly and Declan Reinhardt from row 7, Scott Rankin and Craig Bott from row 8, John Simpson and Conan Lovelock from row 9, Wayne Visser and Jonathan Turner from row 10. Row 11 is where you find Riley Windsor and Tim Weir, Jared Daly and Josh Millard from row 12. And it keeps going. Adam Coughlin from row 13 alongside Luke Keamy. Then you go back to Ben Miller and Adam St. John. And the great people at the Wulbundry Hotel. It's a Friday night. Start bottoms up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Chris Stark, Matthew Dench, Braden Adolf and Mark Howard are all in race control, so don't worry too much about that. But 28 on the grid for this one from Oran Park. It's easily the best field we've had for Freaky Friday. It's easily going to be one of the most enjoyable rounds of the season. And this is the final night of week 8, which means just 8 nights of broadcasting separate us and the end of the season. Have you got a tip for me, Nick?
One of the top 6. I'm not going to single out anybody. I keep having that effect. We're waiting for Wayne Visser to grid up. He's on the grid now, so it should be lights pretty soon.
Getting set for a start here. Notable absence is, of course, Jackson Ray Harner. He said that he is just racing to try and make it to the grid for the Indycars tonight because of work and other commitments. In the meantime, we've got our fingers crossed that he does. Getting set for a start. The little skip barbers from Oran Park. They're racing. Nice conversion off the line. Have a look at that side by side on the run towards turn 1.
All 60 horsepower of them running down here.
Exactly.
The top 5 have already gone into single file now, so watch for fireworks behind.
Great start from Chris Whitaker. Leads the field to the first corner. 3 wide further back. That's not going to work. And off the circuit already is Michael Hammond catapulting down the order. Oh, I wouldn't want to be the bloke that caused that carnage, let me tell you. There could well be a safety car here because we've got a car parked. Oh, no, we're going to be okay. I was going to say there's a car parked on the exit of 2 there and one halfway down the road that you saw, but I think we're okay. Chris Whitaker leads. Is this going to be a case of last week where the paths just clear for him to just sail off into the sunset? We wait and see.
We wait and see, because I was going to say, let's see what's happening in the background here, because he's got no one in shot with him as we come through.
Whoa! There goes Whitaker! Round he goes, collected by Cook. And then there's going to be more carnage on top of that.
Wow.
Whitaker's just hit the fast escape button. He's gone.
Guess who's in the lead?
And already, Whitaker, Cooper, Baldwin, Lavis, Kelly, Bott, Lovelock, Turner, Daly, Millard and Coughlin all in the lane on lap 1. Can you believe that? Angus Cook and Julian Mookie down the inside to turn 1. Mookie's going to take the lead for Sharp E.I.T. Look at this. Cook wants to force the issue on the outside and get him back going into turn 3 and can possibly do that, but what a start from Julian Mookie. Magnificent. Up 7 spots already to sit second. And Angus Cook up 3 spots to sit first. Turner, Gill, Selby, Wood, then Cousins, Reinhardt and Windsor make up the top 8. Riley Windsor up 13 spots already. And Matthew Dench up 21. The ninth on the ground, you don't mind. What a start.
You're going to have to tell Chris Whitaker you put the mockers on him, by the way.
Well, I don't recall handing out a tip, if I'm honest with you, but all I said was, can he? I asked the question. I didn't say he could. Oh, dear. 37 and 30 left here. I'm waiting for him to come into the green room already, actually. I'm waiting to see, because Chris Stark's just rejoined. John Simpson, Michael Hammond, Lachlan Lawler, Chris Whitaker, Aaron Cooper, Braden St. John, Joe Baldwin, Adam St. John, Braden Adolf, Conan Lovelock, Adam Lavis, Jonathan Turner. They're all sitting in the lane. It's just extraordinary. But at least we haven't had too many rage quits in amongst all of that.
By the way, Angus and Julian just did a 16.2 and a 16.6 and 17.2, and then Luke Turner's pulled out a 16.3.
Yeah, and Riley Windsor 16.2.
That's right, Riley Windsor the fastest lap of the race so far. What are we on, lap 3 now?
Yep.
I believe just behind here, there might be a whole heap of guys coming out of the pits.
And half the race contenders have already been rubbed out of it.
Well, yeah. Who knows? They might be the yellows like in the rounds, you just never know.
Oh, that's true. Last man standing, survival of the fittest. I don't think, if we don't get a yellow in amongst that garbage and carnage, I don't think we're going to.
No. Just never
unfortunately.
Know, never say never.
Yeah, exactly. Brett Selby Wood sitting fourth at the moment. Wide. Oh, hang on. Car off on the inside there as well. That's Hammond. He's got back on the track and he's now sitting on the inside at turn, what's that, 9. And I don't think we'll be seeing much more of Mikey tonight. In the meantime, if you're an AFL fan, a quick early start for the Western Bulldogs. Outdoor 2-goal lead over Collingwood in the opening minutes of Friday night football. So we'll keep you updated with the footy as well tonight. Remember, as I said, 3 screens set up Thursdays and Friday nights, folks. You don't want to be disappointed here. You don't want to miss out on any of the action. You want us on the big screen. You want the footy on the 2 little screens. You want the full Sports car experience. Oh no, trouble at turn 2 yet again. And Gary Cousins is involved in all of that. Brett Selby-Wood's the one off circuit. Oh dear. Have a look at this on the Flash Graphics flashback. But yes, us on the big screen, the footy on the 2 little screens, sports bar experience in your own living room, folks. Get amongst it. There, he got a touch too. Selby-Wood, he got a touch. Yep. And I don't know who it was that tapped him. The little green and yellow car there, but he won't be happy, will Brett Selby-Wood. And he's dropped down the order and out of the race, I think.
Luke Turner with the fastest lap now, 15.9. Sitting in second, he's 1.7 behind Angus, and then Julian's about, well, it's varying here, but it's about 2.8, 2.9 seconds behind again. So Julian's got a bit of company with Gary Cousins and Grant Gill. I think this is what I know we're watching 19th, Brock Kelly here.
Aaron Cooper, Lachlan Lawler, and John Simpson have all disconnected early on here. Early doors. Yes, Chris Whitaker, 1:15.50. Man on a mission. Coming back with a vengeance. Oh, trouble on the main straight. Big one between Brock Kelly and 20th. And that was also Tim Weir. Massive shut on the main straight. And that is carnage.
You can't disappear when you're behind. You're still going to fight for the corner, so you've got to give space.
Tim Weir down the inside.
Timothy came across a little too hard there.
And lap traffic as well. I don't know why he even bothered trying to get across when he got lap traffic up the road there. Oh, no. Off the circuit. Bang.
Room.
He took the bigger of the shunts, but still, there's enough damage on Kelly's car to do him a lifetime.
Oh, Brock's probably... Oh, wow, he flipped and rolled
it. He flipped it, yeah. Yep. How good's the action been in the race is only 5 laps old, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Angus Cook, Luke Turner, Julian Mookie, Gary Cousins and Grant Gill, the top 5. I didn't think I'd be saying that at the start of the night.
Yeah, exactly. Car in the background had one wheel, unless it's just a visual muck-up, but we'll see. Angus Cook leading by 0.7, 0.8 of a second.
Can we just go and have a look at some of the big gains already? Sixth is Riley Windsor, he's gained 15 spots. 7th is Matthew Dench, 23 positions gained. 8th is Luke Keeney, 9th is Ben Miller. They've both come up 18 positions. Man, Adam St. John from the Wabundri Hotel, up 16 positions from 28th to 12th. And Chris Whitaker, again, the fastest lap of the race, 1:15.42. There's Adam St. John. If you're in the Wabundri Hotel at the moment, bottoms up. Let's go. Down the hatch. He's about to lose 12 to Chris Whitaker.
Oh, no. Oh, Chris Whitaker.
Whitaker into 12. He's a man on a mission here, as I've said before. He's almost a lap down on Cookie, but it's not going to stop him from at least trying to prove a point tonight. I can't wait for his post-race analysis on this.
There we go. Luke Turner's half a second behind now. So it looks like some traffic slowed Angus up and has brought Luke Turner to the party. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. That's the traffic you're speaking of. 2 cars up the road. There's Cook. Traffic moves to the inside rather. Cook's flying by on the outside. Turner's going to follow him through, but watch the slipstream effect here. And this is the thing. Turner, we know, can steer. He can drive. So Cook's going to have a real battle on his hands to try and shake this hard-charging number 81 in Luke Turner. And to try and shake him off, because it's so hard to break the toe. It's so hard to break the slipstream in these cars. We've said it before, and once Luke Turner's there, he's going to be hard to shake off.
And you can't miss him. He's that bright pink colour. You can't miss that in your mirrors. Right. Angus is just twitching here and there on the run into a couple of these braking zones. So might have to adjust his driving style, just where he's looking. But Luke Turner's, to quote a famous 97-year-old, inexorably closing him down.
Indeed. Through they come. Luke Turner doing a tremendous job here of staying with Angus Cook, and that's the key now. Oh, Cookie on the grass, and that's gonna give Turner a sniff. Watch this going into 12. It's not close enough just yet, but watch it down the main straight.
You'll get a good
run out of
good
here. Stuff. Late round onto the main straight.
Straighten out the corner, the exit of the corner, get a good run down the front stretch. Here we go. Can they make a move into turn 2, if not turn 3?
Cook's got his measure for the moment as they go down to the first corner. Once you break the toe, it's easy to pull away. Until then, you're going to have an eye full of pink in your mirror. if you're Angus Cook.
Pink eye.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Chris Whitaker, a 14.9 fastest lap so far.
Whitaker's in 12th.
Another postcode.
He's worthy of being the race leader by 3 or 4 seconds. We know that's not going to be the case. Unless something should happen to everyone in front of him at the moment. Because he's about, a third of a lap behind Wayne Visser. That's the closest he is to gaining a position at the moment. So it's a long way up the road to Wayne Visser, about 20 seconds. Cookie again putting it in the grass, again getting sideways and tailing. Here's Turner's chance now.
Invite.
And then he gives it. Then he gives it too much across the ripple strips. Oh, geez. But that's the thing. Cookie gathered it up and it balked Turner going through the dogleg. And that was the problem. Otherwise, Turner would have had a chance, a definitive chance down on the inside going into 12. And lap traffic is still going to play a part here, and it's going to play a part for the rest of the night. Good to see not too many have hit the old rage quit button, but there are some soldiering on. Craig Bott, Adam Lavis still in pit lane. Jared Daly and Adam Coughlin both off circuit at the moment as well. And our eyes are all here on the race lead, and why wouldn't they be? Why shouldn't they be? It's Cook and Turner. And Cook, of course, if you can get this one, oh, he'll be eyeing a double tonight, Nick, but I know you've got something to say about that.
I'll worry about that in the second race. I was just looking at the timing screens. Mr. Gary Cousins is now 8 tenths behind Julian Mookie as well. So 2 fights at the top there for the top 4 positions. Only 2 guys will prosper out of those. We'll see how we go. Chris Whitaker again, another fastest lap of 14.8. He's just lapping like a metronome now. He's already taken a 1 minute 26 pit stop. He is, what have we got? He's now 3 seconds behind the car in front, which is Luke Keamy. So he's closing him down, but he is close to being a lap behind on timing there. He's a minute 11 behind the leader. These guys. So he can't be that far in front. Luke Keamy in the pit lane now. There's Julian.
No.
Julian with my teammate Gary Cousins right behind him.
So it's been a good run from Mookie, and been a good run from Cousins as well, who was the Prince of Freaky Friday there for a short while. 2 wins, more than anyone else, and then obviously it hasn't been, the last few combinations either haven't agreed with him or he hasn't been on the grid. But Angus Cook, Luke Turner. Oh, look, he's going round. There goes Cousins in the third. Mookie goes round, but he gathered it up and got back on the black stuff that before he lost out to Grant Gill, but Gill's now right on his tail. Have a look at this on the replay. Flash graphics, flashback for you to turn 1. Watch how close Gary Cousins came. Oh, geez, he had to take a little bit of evasive action there, but thankfully Mookie spun to the inside.
He just hung out his tail around the corner, and it's not the fast way around in these cars. With the open diff, it's really hard to get under control. He got it under control. Good driving. Now he's got Grant Gill all over him. Grant Gill for Oculaire. We might have to take a shot here. These 3 are fighting for 3rd place.
Indeed they are. 27 minutes left on the clock. It's hard to believe that there is still 27 minutes left on the clock with everything that's gone on in this race so far. Really, it's been that sort of a night.
Here we are with our Oculaire aerial shot. What's Grant Gill here?
You remember those 2 races we had, the Radicals and Le Mans? This race has outdone both of them for action, and we're only 12, 13 minutes in. Angus Cook, fastest lap of the race, 1:14.65. Just slightly faster than what Chris Whitaker managed a few laps ago. Whitaker's up to 9th now, by the way. And
Turner's going with him. He only did a 14.71, so he's not that far off. So he's got a challenge and he's rising to it.
Western Bulldogs 18 leading Collingwood 7 at the moment. For those of you playing along with the AFL at home, earlier the NRL, of course, the second round got underway last night. Unfortunately, my Melbourne Storm went down. The less said about that, the better. But we've got Brisbane and Gold Coast standing by to get underway very shortly.
Come on, Titans.
And the Knights got the job done over the Warriors in a close one, 20 points to 16. So both games separated by 4 points so far as round 2 is concerned there. And good to see Newcastle getting my tipping run back on track after it got done last night by my own team. 26 minutes to go here. Sharp Freaky Friday with thanks to Motorfocus.
That is Chris Whitaker, the next car up the street here, up the road here. So
yes, up the street, that's appropriate.
Well, it is in our streets, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's a minute 12 in front of these guys, or behind these guys, so he's close to being a lap down here.
Streets and roads and avenues and all that sort of stuff. lanes.
Aren't they named after all the winners who have taken a round win here?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this.
This is great stuff, isn't it? I mean, this has been really top shelf stuff from both Angus Cook and Luke Turner tonight.
Actually,
neither of us put a foot wrong.
The gap to third, fourth, and fifth is just as close as this if we pan back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cousins, Mookie, and Gill. There it is. If you Grant Gill, you just want to sit here and wait for it to hit the proverbial and then come through and sweep it up and clean up the pieces.
This fight here is 10 seconds behind that lead fight. So if someone mucks up in that lead fight, as we see someone in the background there going into gravel trap, someone mucks up in the lead fight, they still have enough time to kind of recover before these guys come along.
So 31 starters tonight, and I have to tell you, there aren't too many still on the lead lap here. Chris Whitaker's the last one on the lead lap. 9 of them on the lead lap. The race is only 16 minutes old. Well, it's going to be that sort of night. Luke Turner all over the back of Angus Cook here as they head down towards turn 1. Neither of them setting the world alight with their last lap times around here. But Turner faster than Cook that time round. Both taking a slightly different angle through turn 1. And we'll be conscious of the lap traffic that's ahead. But this has been really good to watch.
Still 24 minutes left. I'll be biding my time, looking at where I am faster, looking where Angus is faster if I was Luke, and then plotting your attempts or pressure and back off. Just back off right now and let your tyres cool down a bit. So you got something to fight at the end with. A bit like Brady did in the Wings and Slicks on Monday night.
Yes, correct.
Watching, waiting, observing, and then strike.
Now, if you think this is good, ladies and gentlemen, next week, you got Phoenix, you got Twin Ring Mategi, you've got some more action from Oran Park thrown in for good measure. You've got Phillip Island on the agenda. You've got Detroit, Michigan on the agenda. It's a super, and Barber for the Indycars on the Friday night. You've got a super week next week. In fact, I might have spoke out of turn. It's not Oran Park next. I'm just trying to remember. Wednesday night is...
Got the link?
No, I've got the calendar here. I just don't have the tab open, that's all. I'll open the tab and go again, shall I? Trouble at turn 1, but crisis averted.
Chris Whitaker's going to go a lap down here.
He won't like that. He will not like that, the champ.
There he is. He's in that blue car.
The crown's about to be taken off him. It's about to be dismantled.
Oh, fight back. Who's that on the inside?
Great fight back.
So now he's... Oh, no, sorry, he's not a lap down. My apologies.
Not yet, no.
On the timing, so it must be ahead of this. But those two guys back there are fighting pretty hard too. Here we are, here's the third place fight. They're still at it. Like watching a Formula V race.
Exactly, and there's nothing wrong with that either, by the way.
Non-stop action, you got to have your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
Back.
I did speak out of turn. It's a double Phillip Island next week, not Oran Park. So we've had Phillip Island last week. We go back to Phillip Island next week. So Barber, the Island for 3 different races. The double on Thursday night is from the Island, and also the up-and-comers on Wednesday night. Detroit, Michigan for the supercars. And then, of course, Monday night, Phoenix and Mategi to kick things off. We don't know where Freaky Friday is, but that's a really good lineup next week, particularly with Phillip Island having such a strong presence here. That's going to be fun. Now, Angus Cook and Luke Turner still side by side.
He's looking.
Nose to tail, inside, outside. Here comes Turner. Here comes Turner. Here comes Turner. No. Cook goes deep and holds on. Jeez, this is good fun. If you're not enjoying this, you're difficult to please, folks. This has been really good to watch. And not much more than a coat of varnish has separated them for the entire duration here. We are on lap 15, and we're not even halfway yet. So it's going to be about a 31, 32 lap race tonight. Once you take into consideration the pit stop as well, the quick splash and dash, if they should need one. And I assume they will. They set these races up so that the splash and dash is required. If they'd have got the pace car on lap 1, as I thought they might not have needed the splash and dash, but they're certainly going to need it now. Along the main straight, just under 21 minutes to go as the totem pole returns. You can see the top 20 there on the left-hand side of your screen.
I've just flicked onto Angus's stream, and he's got 3 cars in front of him, 3 lap cars in front of him. So he's going to be pretty busy in the next couple of laps trying to get weave his way through the traffic there, and keep Luke Turner behind him as well. So just looking on his stream there, he's pretty calm, but there's a lot of pink in the background of his in the mirror there, in the rearview mirror, as he closes up on this fight in front of him.
Now, I posed the question last night while you weren't in the room. We were talking to Mr. Ray Harner, and I said, mate, now that you've become a fan of these sprint races and a few other things, I said, could you imagine sprint races in the Indycar series? Now, you're the man that looks after the Indycar series. Given the success and the enjoyment that we've all had out of the formula, is that something you've considered for either the stock cars or the Indycars going forward or not?
No, I haven't considered it, no.
No, I didn't think so. But I always like to float the controversial ideas, as you know.
Oh, look, I feel longer races, you get some pit stops in, get some safety cars in. That's why I kind of don't watch too much actual NASCAR anymore, because they got the stage races, which is kind of like a short race anyway. So, no, not really interested. We come to the end of the week. It's a long race. Let's get some laps behind us. That's the way I think. Plenty of time to catch back up. We give you ample time, and you got your fast repairs. Here's Chris Whitaker.
On the fight back. His next target, Wayne Visser.
It's not holding back.
Wayne's not far up the road either. There's Wayne. So Whitaker's a real chance of getting 8th here. Away from Wayne Visser. Scott Rankin's the next one up the road, but he's a little bit further on.
Angus Cook with the fastest.
Whitaker is just throwing this around at the moment. It's good to see. Now, the other thing as well is what we should be talking about. If you're wondering where some of our members are tonight,
Centrelink.
Yeah, well, Centrelink would be one place, but
Centrelink on his car.
I love it. Hey, Michael Angus, he won't be in any of the service tonight because he's at the MCG watching the Magpies go around. I just lost a little bit of respect for him, knowing that he's a Collingwood supporter, but still good to see that he's actually back at the footy and enjoying himself, because Victorians have been waiting a bloody long time for that.
Not everybody can be perfect.
Well, this is true too.
Mikey Hammond, fight back, fastest lap, 14.3.
I can't say I'm surprised to see him posting the fastest lap. Cookie's in the lane. Cookie's the first one to jump, but I'm just surprised that Michael Hammond's still out there. Normally, when the night goes up the proverbial, he's quick to just park it. He hasn't done that tonight, so well done.
Yeah, look, he's persisting with it. He doesn't particularly like the ovals. If he doesn't have to buy, he won't buy it. And so I think this is all the racing he's going to get tonight, unless he jumps over to another group or something like that during the night. Angus Cook with a 15.9 second stop. He's just left pit lane. Yeah, look, persistence is key. These slower cars allow you to practice your skills. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, you're right. I'm just writing to. We've got something going on at turn 1, I just heard, but 1:14.19 for Michael Hammond, the fastest lap of the race. Oh, he is throwing it around and having a great time with it.
Fun, yeah, exactly.
He's a 13 gettable.
Where is he? 14. Trucker Joe. He's only 2 seconds up the road, apparently.
Well,
so, is that correct? Am I reading that?
No. Joe's 14 seconds up the road. Yeah. Joe's about 14 seconds up the road, okay. and Baldwin himself is 2 seconds away from Jonathan Turner. But no, I'm not meaning is 13th gettable for Mikey. I don't think that is. But can he break into the 1 minute 13s? Could he actually go into uncharted territory with this thing?
He's that close. I'm sure it's on his list. He's using all the road, using up all the tyre that he can. He's got the car positioned exactly right. He's braking and turning really well. And then using what power you do have. I'm sure a lawnmower has more power than these, but look, it still makes more fun. Can he beat his 14.1?
And using every single bit of the real estate and a little bit more. Another lap. 14.12 that time. So he's just improved again. 14.12 if you don't mind for Michael Hammond. Oh, he's pushing. Oh, we almost threw it away. Oh, what commitment here. Just stick with the onboard for the rest of the night. This is well worth the price of admission alone.
That's normal for Mikey. He'll just start taking slivers off the time now, as he's just done. Well, you know what? We might as well just... Oh, Grant Gill is in. We might as well just quickly do an onboard with Mikey. What the hell?
Yeah, why not? Let's talk through the track, Nick. We haven't done that tonight. We haven't really had a chance to do that tonight. Let's go on board with Mikey for a lap and let you do all the talking.
So up over the bridge, we'll start from here. Go down into this first gully here, which is kind of in behind turn 3 here. Little flip-flop back to the left. 4th gear up to Suttons. Back down to 3rd. Take lots of curb. Don't use too much exit out there because there's a wall. Through the flip-flop, it's blind. It's a dogleg. It's flat out though, especially in these cars. And then use the uphill here to brake your car nice and square. Turn her in, 2nd gear, then run right out to the wall. Track right out to the wall and even touch it if your name is Mikey Hammond. And then run down the front stretch. Work your way through the gears. I think this thing revs to 6 grand, so make sure you change on the right spot. Turn 1's a bit dicey in these cars. You've got teeny little wings and radial tyres, so you've got to kind of lift and dab the brakes and then straighten the car up to really get on the picks right here into turn 2. Back down to 1st gear there for Mikey, usually 2nd gear. Then run her out to the width there of the track, under the bridge, and then into turn 3, which is the tightest corner. Possibly one of the best passing spots on the track. Gary Cousins in, by the way. Run it out, run up to the corner leading onto the bridge, over that big hump there where the old track rejoins up, and then flat out up over the bridge. Slight lift on the top side in 3rd gear, back on it again, and then back into that gully that we just described as we came off the bridge last lap. Enter the gully, still in 3rd gear. Cross the curbing on the right, cross the curbing on the left. We'll go right up to the start-finish line here. Up into Suttons, up to 4th, back to 3rd. Cross the curbing, you don't want to bottom your car out too much. Use the exit. Flip-flop, dogleg, whatever you want to call it, flat out in these cars, 4th gear, and then final corner, braking nice and square, use the uphill, back to 2nd, and then, wow, a little bit understeer in this car, but I think that they're all set up like that. Flat out, back across the start-finish line.
Nicely done, Nick. Thank you. 13 minutes 40 left in this race. Dogs by 11 over the Pies at the MCG at the moment, and of course, the Titans Broncos NRL clash, no score there after 11 and a half minutes.
Come on,
they're the up-to-date information, scores and whatnot for you. As far as Friday night football is concerned, it's a little bit strange, actually, I have to say, to be sitting here being able to talk about footy and motorsport at the same time. We haven't had that opportunity for much of this year, but it's good to have footy back in focus on the back of the cricket and tennis, of course, before that. As I said, 3 screens, 1 on the sim racing, 2 on the footy, ladies and gentlemen. Get your spend a little bit of money, invest some time, go and visit, you know, the people that support the club and others, because we, unfortunately, televisions are not our strong point yet. We've yet to find a television sponsor, but when we do, we'll be all for them. Make sure you have a sports bar within your own home, ladies and gentlemen. Turn the office into a sports bar. Friday nights, Thursday nights, the only place you want to be. So it's 12 and a half minutes to go. There is Scott Rankin on screen in 7th. Actually, nice to see Scott on the grid, if I'm honest. He's normally tied up with some other commitments, but he's obviously in the house tonight, which is good to see. Angus Cook sitting there 4th at the moment, and all on his little lonesome at the moment. Matthew Dench has been in and out, but he went in on lap 1. So that might be the only thing. Matthew Dench went in on lap 1. That could be that could be the straw that break the camel's back for him, because he may need another splash and dash in the tail end of the race. Otherwise, he's in good stead. There's no doubt about that. Look, Julian Mookie's in now. Julian Mookie's in. Luke Turner continues to lead. Oh, no! Luke Turner's come on, stuck at 1! Oh, can you believe that?
There was another car involved.
There was another car involved. Lap traffic. I don't like how this is looking. Oh, no, the car's just expired. Bang.
Where to go?
And Turner with nowhere to go. It was looking so good until then as well.
You committed to the corner. You got to go for it.
Are you kidding me?
Time to either gain or lose to Angus there. So
just 1 lap too many for Luke Turner.
Angus has come out in front of Gary Cousins about the same gap as well. So there's no real change there, but I think Luke Turner will definitely be 2nd.
And look at this as well. Look at this as well. Just 7 cars left on the lead lap. Chris Whitaker's 7th. He's fought back to 7th. Extraordinary. Julian Mookie 6th, Grant Gill 5th, Gary Cousins 4th, then Angus Cook 3rd, Matthew Dench 2nd, and now our pit stop race leader is heading for the lane. So we wait and see where Cook comes out in all of that, where Dench comes out as well, remembering that if he can fuel save, he may just pull off the miracle here, but I don't think fuel saving's on his mind.
Well, was there enough space to put the fuel in as well?
I wouldn't have thought so.
I wouldn't think so, but
that one.
Let's assume, and it's always not safe to assume, but let's just say he was in one of the first lap accidents. If that's the case, he's the highest placed car to have had crash damage on lap 1, and then now taking the lead. He's up 29 spots. And he's probably going to go down 29 if he keeps this up. Oh, man.
Oh, no. Tensions come undone.
Oh, wow. How did he do that?
I don't know how he saved it. But in saying that, it's not the fast way around the track. It's not Michael Hammond's slick.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant.
I don't know where he was looking or aiming, but somehow he made that work and he got the second part 2, turn 2 right. That's ridiculous.
Now, no Paul Nicholls tonight, so Nick will jump out at the end of this race. Chris Whitaker's going to join us. I think the less said about this race, the better, so we'll just get his expert comments for the IndyCar race or Sharp Extensive IT and Motorfocus, of course. It is Friday night. I always catch myself when it's just sharp at the top of the screen there. I always catch myself out because you got to remember the Extensive IT part, and then you got to remember that that there's no silent E on the end of this Sharp. But anyway,
just quickly,
the joys of broadcasting.
Lost a lot of time. That he's now 1.8 seconds behind Gary Cousins, so he lost about 11, 12 seconds there. Because Luke was on the hammer of Angus going into those pit stops about 12 seconds down the road from Gary. So yeah, he's lost a bit of time there. Unfortunate, but he's got a fixed up car, and will he have the pace to catch and pass Gary?
Time will tell. Cross the line. So Turner still. Jonathan Turner in the lane.
Is he related?
I'm not sure. But there's Luke in 4th. As you say, Gary Cousins is 11 seconds up the road.
Smoke. Who's that?
Uh-oh.
I see smoke.
Fire and brimstone.
Well, there's smoke, there's fire. Who is it?
Exactly.
Oh, it's a lap car. Is that,
traffic, the 33.
Josh Millard.
Yep. In 10th. So 8:17 left on the clock. Unfortunately, the hype of the first 10 minutes hasn't lived out to transpire through the rest of the race. It's somewhat died down a little bit, but there might be a sting in the tail yet. We wait and see. There's Gary Cousins in 3rd.
It's one of those things.
Turner the next car. So 1.8 the margin. So this is doable for Turner.
Yes, it is. It was one of those things at the start of the race. Everybody's so nervous. The tyres aren't warm, cold tyres, all that kind of stuff, and everybody's having crashes and bingles. Then, as the race wears on, because it's quite a long race, mistakes start creeping in. You're getting tired. You're getting mentally tired. Matthew Dench is in. And little driving mistakes, missed shifts, all that kind of stuff. We saw someone blow up right in front of Luke Turner. So the mistakes start creeping in.
You just can't predict that stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Mental fit people and physically fit people prosper.
Hey, also, just quickly, too, folks, on the subject of personal plugs, come and see us tomorrow morning, West Bremer Radio, from 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time through to 1 o'clock. I'm going to be there talking all things local sport in the first hour, but then national and international in the second and third. And you know what it's like when I've got something to say on the soapbox. So there'll be a couple of things to be said tomorrow morning. Cannot believe some of the garbage that's happened this week, particularly here in Queensland, but we'll get into that tomorrow morning. And there'll be plenty of great music along the way as well. And I say that, Nick, because I know our great mate down there, the pride of Hobart, the spirit of Hobart down there on the Apple Isle, Chris Kisby, he's always tuning in and sending me messages and saying you're doing a great job or great music or whatever the case may be. So if anyone else wants to join the party, download the West Bremer Radio app from your app store and play it on the go wherever you go and listen to us as you do. What kind of music? Generally, well, sadly, I don't get a say in it because if I did, it'd be a lot better. But no, it's just your modern contemporary FM radio station sort of stuff, mate. And there's an 80s, some 90s thrown in for good measure, and some zeros as well. So, okay, right. And anything that looks like it might be a little bit sus, particularly anything with the word Bieber in it, I just delete straight away, and I find a way to talk over the top of. I just extend my voice break so I don't have to play those songs. Luke Turner is about choice. Luke Turner's got more opposite lock than actual lock for each corner. He's going in sideways and then steering it on the rear. It's actually great to see, but
I dare say those rear tyres will cry enough sooner or later.
And it's going to cost him because I don't think he's going to run out. I think he's going to run out of time to catch Gary Cousins here. But this has been a great race. I mean, the skip barbers always throw up some entertainment tonight. Most of that tenfold in the opening 3 laps, but I mean the fight back has been really good. The fact that Chris Whitaker is 6th and still on the lead lap is astonishing after all the drama he went through. And he's well clear of Matthew Dench now, who did have to pit a second time, so that takes him out of contention. So what you're looking at here is Cook chalking up one leg of the doubleheader, looking to double up on a Friday night. Then Gary Cousins and Luke Turner. But what we've got to remember is that Angus Cook has won on an oval so far this season, as has Adam Lavis. When we get to Indycar,
0.013 though, not much.
Well, no, not much at all. Spoken as the true bridesmaid as you were on that occasion. In fact, you've been the bridesmaid twice on the ovals. Is tonight finally the time where you come home with the wedding cake instead?
Well, we'll see. Only time will tell. Roughly an hour and a bit from now.
Yeah, exactly. Quickly, mate. I mean, we haven't had a chance to touch on it yet. We may as well with 4.5 minutes to go before you leave us. Milwaukee, interesting challenge. Plenty of laps ahead of us. It's only a 1 miler, and there's going to be a lot of fuel stops, a lot of strategy playing out here. I can't wait to get stuck into it, and it's a critical point of the championship, particularly with you in the battle with Ray Harner and Lavis as well.
Oh, look. The goal is to get a W next to my name, but look, the pressure's on all 3 of us. But I know that the other guys, they're getting a sore neck because at the end of the races I'm always there. So exactly. I haven't not finished in the top 5 and not finished on the lead lap. I have finished in the top 5 and finished every lap of the season thus far. So regardless of what happens, I'm going to be there. So. Let's see how it all plays out. I've done many a lap around there, and you know, experience plays into it. So I know some of the guys are trying to cram a couple of years of experience into a couple of days here, and look, you burn yourself out if you do too many laps, I feel.
Yeah, I just hope that by saying what you've said there about always finishing on the lead lap, finishing in the top 5, I hope you haven't put the mockers on yourself tonight. I really hope.
I say it at the end of each race. So, and then look, we got drop rounds anyway.
Exactly.
So one oval, 1 road. So
I can't wait to see how that balances things out too, because that will happen tonight. Adam will crunch the numbers.
I could go to bed after this one if I wanted to, but it's one of my favourite ovals. So let's see what happens. Get the fireworks ready.
Oh yeah, they're ready, all right.
Happy to lubricate it up. Get some lozenges in, get some water in.
Some honey as well.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be a big workout. Poor old Chris Whitaker's eardrums are going to be bleeding at the end of this. 2:45 left on the clock, and the Titans lead the Broncos 4-0, ladies and gentlemen. Titans have got the job done there. First try of the night, 21 minutes in. I liked what I saw from the Broncos last week. I didn't necessarily like what I saw from the Titans, so it was a very difficult pick that game. I went the Broncos hoping that they can turn their... Oh, no, Gary Cousins, hold it together, Gary. Oh, no. Luke Turner closing in as well.
So Wayne Viss is he going to get around him? Because Wayne Viss is, he's last car on the lead lap.
Down the inside, got it.
And that was going to allow Luke to catch up to him, but I don't think there's enough time now. Sorry, cut in there.
No, that's all right. No, I totally get it. Make that 6-0 in favour of the Titans. But yeah, I liked what I saw from the Broncos last week, Nick, in the sense that I don't think they're going to be the wooden spooner this year. They played well against Parramatta. They just couldn't finish the job off. It's now a case of playing for 80 minutes instead of 40. So if they can finish better than they started last week, there'll be a chance tonight. 6-0 in favour of the Titans. Dogs leading the Pies at the MCG as well. 1:40 to go here. It's going to be 2 laps for Angus Cook.
I just saw on my mate's Facebook feed, he said up the Knights. So I don't know how the Knights are going, but
they got the job done against the Warriors earlier, 20-16. So once again, it's a good result for the Knights. 2 wins from as many starts. Whoa, Angus Cook sliding his way into turn 1 and gathering it up nicely. I tell you what, that was commitment plus from Cook there. Magnificent play. Just to update you as well, last week, so 20-16 this week and 32-16 last week. So 16's the common denominator for the Knights at the moment. Their opponents are racking up 16 points. As long as they're racking up more than that, they're winning games. And they've done that twice so far. Knights at the top of the table at the moment, by the way, sitting pretty. So,
they could be taking an NFL approach and like, let's just get 16 points on the board and then the red game should be won. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
37
Knights and
seconds.
Eels, the only undefeated teams at the moment that have played two games, I should say.
White flag coming.
White flag this time by for Angus Cook. What a race this has been. I mean, it set itself up on the opening lap to be an absolute cracker. Unfortunately, you look at the names that are lapped down. Baldwin, Hammond. I mean, Whitaker's virtually a lap down. 3/4 of one anyway. Adam Lavis. Whoa! Spinner in the background. Thankfully not in the way of anyone significant there. I mean, Chris Stark, Josh Millard, Riley Windsor, Braden Adolf, Luke Keamy, Brett Selby-Wood, Declan Reinhardt. They all ran into trouble early. And that ruled
another one in the background.
15 contenders or something ridiculous. Luke Turner almost caught up again in someone else's incident. How unlucky can you be twice in one night? That's all but ruled him out of catching. It was Wayne Visser. Oh no.
Like I said, mistakes happen when you get toward the end of the race. People are getting tired.
But in saying that ruled him out of catching Gary Cousins as well. Here comes Cook through the dog leg for the last time up towards the final corners of this race, of this circuit. 6-4 now, by the way. Broncos have gone in. And, we almost threw it away on the grass into the last corner. He's having too much fun with it. Angus Cook wins Freaky Friday in a very interesting, entertaining, chaotic affair at Iron Park. And blew the motor over the line. The job is done. The car is done. The driver is done. He's got leg one of the doubleheader locked and loaded. He's got it secured. Brilliant. Now we can go off towards Milwaukee and hope for a double up. Let's bring him in for a chat here straight away as the rest of the field comes all across the line.
All right.
Nick, thank you for the moment. Driver of the night nomination from you before you go.
Oh, jeez. It's hard to look past some of these names, like Matthew Dench, 23
Dench up 23 spots. Yeah, that's what stood out for me too.
Angus Cook drove almost near perfect races for that last corner. Let me get back to you at the end of the telecast.
Copy that. Right. Thank you. I'll hold you to that.
Yep.
Cookie, well done. I mean, geez, you didn't have your mate there with you for backup in Jackson Rayhana. That's okay. You seem to play all right when you're on your own. Proven tonight, but it was again a case of the seas parting for you, because every single hot shot that we could think of, from Whitaker to Hammond to Lavis and everyone in between, fell off in incidents either that they ran into trouble on their own or they got caught up in someone else's garbage, and that just made the job so much easier for you, mate.
Absolutely. It was a race of patience, and I reckon probably 3/4, maybe even 7/8 of the field didn't have it tonight, and instead were up the back, blowing up on the voice chat, not really focusing on the race or anything. So I think there's a lot to learn tonight for a lot of people in patience and what that will do for you. Turn one was really my only hairy moment, and that last turn, I got a message in Discord saying that JQ441 has gone out 12 minutes early from Gold Coast Airport, so Jackson will make it back for Indycar. So nice. I saw that, and when that's the first Jetstar flight that's ever left early. But
this is true. Yeah.
So really,
on time.
Absolutely. So a race of patience, and honestly, I think a lot of people need to have a week off and cool their heads, because some of the driving out there, I'd say, was pretty despicable.
Well, okay. I'm going to come back to you on that a little bit later on. We'll have a proper chat about that. But Definitely. Secondly, Scott Rankin's going to join us in here in just a moment. He's in the broadcast booth. He's standing by. I love the passion in which you're saying that too. But you're right. It's patience. We've so often said it, Angus, and Scott will agree here as we welcome him in. So many of these races can not be won on the first corner, but they can certainly be lost.
I'll agree to anything if you pay me enough.
No, that was for Cookie, and then I was going to come to you. So let's see what Cookie says, and then come to you, Scott.
We thought the same thing there, Scott.
The ball's in your court, Angus. Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know. People just were quite hot-headed in there. And these skip barber cars, there's a thing called a draft, which all cars actually have.
Yes.
And if you sit behind that for 35 minutes, make it to the end, you can actually make a move and figure out where people are weak. So my plan was to follow Chris. Chris had a spin, unfortunately, and Joe got caught up, and I was lucky to avoid that. But in all honesty, if someone was just there cutting consistent laps behind me, like what Luke Turner was doing that whole mid stint, but I think he ran into some trouble on his in lap.
Yes, he did. Yep.
They honestly would have been in the exact same position to fight at the end there, rather than having a blow up on Discord later and probably cop a week off for some of the stuff that was being said.
Yeah, okay. Looking forward to seeing or hearing the postmortems out of race control and all of that. Let's bring in Luke Turner because he's joining us now. Luke, that was going so well right up until the in-lap, mate. You can't help broken engines in front of you, can you?
Yeah, it turned a bit sour, but
True.
Oh well, these things happen.
We don't normally get to see you on a Freaky Friday, but Skip Barber's Oran Park, that was a calling for so many to come and have a play tonight. And it showed because tempers flared in the early stages. There wasn't much patience, as Angus said. A lot of carnage in the opening stages, but you and Angus really benefited from that and had a cracking duel. And what worked in your favour, mate, is you were able to claw the gap back to Angus. And it's so easy to break the draft if you've got 3 or 4 car lengths. But when you've got 2 guys evenly paced, evenly matched, as you two were, Cookie had his work cut out for him tonight up until he decided to perform the undercut.
Yeah, I was going to... I wanted to run long, because you could do something different, right? Doesn't get caught in traffic. To be fair, Cookie was quicker tonight. I had the benefit of the draft. He was very clean, which I was thankful for. We had a nice little battle there for a while.
Yep, agreed.
It was good fun. It was good fun. I just got caught up in traffic, as you saw at turn 1, so it kind of ended there. But it was good. I mean, look, this is the second time I've driven a Skippy. The last time was at Oran Park, I think, a couple of months ago when it was a gents fun run. So
yep.
Chris Whitaker was in my ear, so I got a couple of dark and stormies, and here I am.
That's it. He's in my ear for the rest of the night because he's joining me to co-commentate IndyCar. So stick around there, Mr. Whitaker. We'll get to you. We'll get to you in just a moment. We're going to remind everybody of the Sharp Extensive I.T deal and all that. You see it on your screen at the moment. We'll get to that very shortly, but I just want to throw the conversation around here. Joe Baldwin, again, it was a case of what might have been because you had good pace. It just unluckily come unstuck on the in the opening laps there. And when you don't get a safety car and you go a lap down, it's always an uphill slog, isn't it?
Look, it is. It was so disappointing. Yeah, unluckily for Chris, he the cold tyres caught him out on lap 1 in the trickiest part of the track on cold tyres with his car. And when he spun, I was sitting praying because Angus had run over a curb and got a slowdown, and then Chris spun, and I thought, keep your... But he sort of stopped and blocked the right third of the track. So I just swiped him on the way past. So, yeah, like you say, what could have been. But I owe Adam Maverick a huge apology. He just checked up more than I thought, and I tagged the back of him there sort of a couple of laps after I got out of the pit. So huge apologies to him.
Indeed. Mate, I'll keep moving here and I'll see.
All good.
I'm just having a look here. I've got 8 minutes and then I've got 5 minutes. So I've got 13 and we've got to try and squeeze in a break as well. So thanks, Joe. Appreciate that, mate. Come back and have a chat to us after your IndyCar, yeah?
Certainly will. I'll be here.
Just quickly, Joe, I'm not going to be in IndyCars, mate. I'm in comms, so we won't be able to run into each other in that race, mate. So you should be sweet. I'm backing you.
Oh, great work. Thanks, Chris. Cheers, mate. No, it's all good. It's just one of those things, It's a really tricky car combo. So, no, mate, it's all good. It was a good fight back anyway.
Cheers, mate.
Good evening to you on that note, Mr. Whitaker. I'll have a chat to you off air in just a moment. Let me throw the conversation to Scott Rankin firstly. Hey, Scott, top 5. You've got to be happy with that, given all the carnage that unfolded around you in the opening laps.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got probably, I think, the worst start in the field. Dropped about 2.5 places going into the first corner, and then I had 3 separate cars try and park themselves in front of me. So, look, I mean, that's you mentioned it right at the start of the interview segment when I just jumped in. It is about patience. It is about keeping the car together. And if you have a look, a few of the guys around me that didn't do that, they're sitting at the back end of the grid. So. I prefer it coming from the back because everything that you want to watch and you want to be aware of is going to be in front of you. And, look, I ended the night with the 3rd fastest lap, which blew me absolutely away, and there was still more in it. So,
Are you having a crack at the IndyCar now, mate, or is that it for the night?
I've been running ovals all afternoon on my stream, mate. So working on my racecraft, which is sorely lacking in ovals. It's a different beast when you go. No, it is because
No, I agree.
Ovals, you can go 3, you can go 4 wide. It's just choosing when and where to do so, and that's where I'm weak at the moment. So I've been working on that this afternoon. A couple runs. Atlanta's a tricky track, which is where the NASCARs are actually off to this weekend. So a lot of the iRacing official stuff is at Atlanta this week. And Milwaukee is its own sort of tricky track with its own sort of, what's the word? Own sort of tricks and little bits and pieces that you've really got to try and master to get the most out of it. So.
Sharp Extensive I.T. Road to Indy with thanks to Motorfocus. Pictures coming in from Milwaukee at this point in time. We'll get to that very shortly. I was having a look at the stats graph at the top of the screen. We've gone Times New Roman on you there, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll sort that out as well, I'm sure. Hey, Scott, good luck with the racing coming up, and obviously we'll check in with you again a little bit later on. Luke Turner as well. What's next for you, Luke? Are you going to have a crack at the IndyCar, or is that it for the night?
Oh, mate, too many rumbos down now. I'm gonna listen to Chris's dulcet tones, and you guys light it up.
All right,
Monday GT3.
Mate, I was going to say, if you want to sit in here and enjoy your rums with us and join us in the commentary, you're more than welcome to. Let me get to Adam St. John firstly. On the subject of enjoying schooners, the great people at the Wulbundary Hotel, bottoms up, ladies and gentlemen, because we're talking to your man right now. Did word get back to you about how much fun we had when you were leading the race on Wednesday night? We didn't get a chance to chat to you after the up-and-comers, mate.
No, Mark, because I was pretty disgusted with myself, so I bailed out pretty quick. But because I cooked it in both races. But I just wanted to jump in and say apologies to Luke. That was me blowing the engine in front of you.
Right.
So, hey, listen, you've got a nice little crowd here tonight. There's about 30 blokes 30 people in the bar, which is pretty good because there's a fair bit going around in the area. And I owe Luke a couple of rumbos if he ever gets into the Wulbundary Hotel.
Hey Adam, just quickly before you disappear, what's the best thing to buy on tap there?
What's the best thing to buy on tap? Well, listen, it's pretty hard to go past the past the Great Northerns. That just smashes everything out of the park. But I got a bit of 150 lashes on tap here as well. So.
Oh my man, he knows what I like.
Hey, how do you go with how do you serve your Canadian club, my friend?
In a can, but when you come and visit, I'll get that on tap, all right?
Good boy. All right, we're all planning a road trip to the Wulbundary Hotel at some point this year. I have no idea when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, or how bad his power bill is going to be after we've been there with all our sim rigs and gear. But we are all planning a trip to the Wulbundary Hotel that is going to be absolutely off the chart. But yeah,
well, I'm out of here, fellas. I've got a few beers to pull.
Go for it. As I said, anytime he leads a lap on a Wednesday night in the up-and-comers, ladies and gentlemen, it's half a schooner. And, of course, for the rest of the night, those of you that are watching in the Wulbundary Hotel, every time we mention Wulbundary Hotel or Wulbundary, just have a sip and carry on as we go here. And don't drink and drive. Gamble responsibly while you're there as well. Let's remind you, of course, before we get ready to just crank up the volume here while we take a couple of minutes break in commentary, considering that pictures are coming in from Milwaukee, we're going to crank up the volume early tonight and let you enjoy the sights and sounds of practice here. Good crowd in the house as well. Chris Whitaker in the commentary box. Scott Rankin's here too. Luke Turner. I think Scott's going to go and have a race, but that's all right. We've got Luke Turner as well, so we're very grateful for him sticking around to have a chat to us while he enjoys a couple of happy hour bevos. We're going to do the same at the end of the broadcast. Let's remind you about Sharp Extensive I.T. Of course, any warm referral with Sharp Extensive I.T. If I can get that graph up on my screen here. Okay, I'm not seeing it at the moment, but yeah, anyway, there it is. Every warm referral of an office printer, photocopier, digital signage, or interactive whiteboard will attract $100 to the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. I really should get myself a PDF version of this so that I don't have to roll on the broadcast feed to put it up, but that's all right. Help support your club by referring businesses to Sharp EIT. sharpeit.com.au/Gentleman Sim Racing. Conditions apply. we're grateful for their support because Friday Night Motorsport would not happen without the great people at Sharp EIT and also Motorfocus Quality Scale Models. But the rest of the week wouldn't happen without the great support of Rockdale Volkswagen, Flash Graphics, Stone Cold Racing, Adam St. John, and the great people at the Wabundri Hotel, Oculair Aerial Photography, Simple Sim Computers, Ray White Gaindar, and also the Central Coast Motor Group Fleet and Corporate. One leg down in our Friday night doubleheader. The big one still to come. We're going IndyCar racing on the other side. From Milwaukee, the fourth of 5 oval stops for the season, the third last round of the championship, and a critical one at that. Back with more in just a moment. Great to have you company wherever you're tuning in all around Australia, all around the world. It's SimShed Broadcasting's coverage of Friday Night Motorsport for the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club with thanks to Sharp Extensive IT and Motorfocus. This is the Milwaukee Mile in West Allis, Wisconsin. And we are set for the 8th round of the Road to Indy series with thanks to Sharp Extensive IT, and Motorfocus. Zach Cabot and Chris Whitaker now in the commentary box with you. Luke Turner's still here as well, which is good to see. We've had Paul Nichols, we've had Kester Ward, we've had a few others pop in and out of the commentary box over the last couple of rounds, but I'm pleased to say Chris Whitaker's in the house tonight and Luke Turner is here as well. Chris, good evening to you. Great to have your company. Can we start by going back to Oran Park and the Skip Barber, please? Because let's be perfectly honest, no sooner did I say he's going out on a mission to go back to back and you put it in the dirt, mate. Talk us through it, please.
Right, I know who to blame then. I was going to blame myself and say I ran out of talent, but obviously you put the knocker on me, mate, the commentator's curse. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, look, I was pushing pretty hard. I had some reasonable pace there, and I think 3/4 of the field there were Summit Sim Sports cars, and yeah, I thought, look, let's get out there. They'll be playing as a team, so try to get a bit of a gap and see what we can do. But yeah, just push too hard on cold tyres, and unfortunately, yet again, I come together with Trucker Joe. That's I said the same last week. That's now 3 races that we've done together and 3 races that we've come together. So at least we're consistent, similar to the Broncos.
This is very true.
But yeah, no, sorry for taking him out of the race. But no, good fun coming back through the pack after that. Yeah, to come back through to nearly 5th by less than 1/10 of a second, but yeah, it was a bit of fun, and yeah, I was in the chat with Luke as well. Luke Turner in the chat with us as well, so we were dribbling crap the whole way through there and having a couple of bevies, and yeah, no, it was a good race.
Hey, just quietly, you mentioned the Broncos. Yeah, last week must have been a fluke, must have been a one-off that they were leading at half-time because it's now 20-4. It was 6-4 about 10 minutes ago when I last gave you a score update. It's now 20-4 with a kick to come right on the precipice of half-time, and gone as ZW Cabin's tips for this round. I won't be tipping Brisbane in the near future, let me tell you. Hey, 5-5-35 plays 3-6-24. Bulldogs lead Collingwood by 11 points. Closing stages of the second quarter there at the MCG. Points as far as the IndyCar series is concerned. Jackson Rayhana, 188. Nick Fodiatis, 181. And Adam Lavis, 170. Angus Cook, 132. Despite having missed 2 rounds, that's actually going to work out in his favour come count back, I would dare say. Rick Vincent, 112. Mookie, Stark, Wilson, Moyes and Rice make up the top 10. And, of course, we know Bevan Moyes misses the oval races. So to still be in the top 10, despite the fact that you're now missing 4 races, he's having an all right season. As far as the race stats are concerned, we'll get to the grid for you in just a moment. 50% fuel limit on these cars. You're burning somewhere in the vicinity of 0.9 to a litre per lap, according to what Nick was saying to me off air here. 145 laps or 1 hour and 5 minutes, whichever comes first. 88 k's an hour is the pace car speed. 72 k's an hour is pit lane speed. We are in the Delara IR18 once again, a 1.61 kilometre course here. The grid looks like this. Fodiatis from pole. How happy will he be with himself just quietly right about now? Angus Cook, Adam Lavis, and Yanni Sotorio from the second row. Dylan Gray and Frank Hodak, Jackson Rayhana, Joe Baldwin, Ben Miller, and Rick Vincent make up the top 10. Scott Rankin is 11th, and Laser Dave Farrelly from 12. Then we go back to Pete Madsen, Parry Anastakis on the 7th row. The 8th row is Matthew Dench and Julian Mookie. And Gary Cousins from the 9th row, and that will round us out because no one else has set a time there. Aaron Cooper and Jamie Welch may well jump in, but we'll wait and see on that. Incident points tonight, they kick in at 17x and then every 7x thereafter, but you don't want to get to 31x because that will be an instant DQ and there are 2 fast repairs. If you had to put your money on someone tonight, Luke Turner, Chris Whitaker, who would it be, please?
I'm going to back Nick. Nico Pop for the win.
At long last, yes. He's due for one.
Is Adam Lavis racing?
Yes.
I reckon he might pull off another one. He seems to be Mr. Specialist.
Yeah, he seems to be the oval specialist, doesn't he? And we'll wait and see how all this plays out. He's starting from 3rd, so you've got the championship contenders 1st and 3rd. You've got Rayhana buried down there in 7th. We've got the other oval race winner with Angus Cook sitting there. So Angus has 1 oval win, Adam with 2, and Nick's looking to make it 6 different winners in 8 races to start the season. Ready to go. Right it up Motorsport from West Dallas, Wisconsin and the Milwaukee Mile. And Nick's just sitting back there, holding the field back a little bit here. I think they might go round again because it is an oval and it's a 1 mile. They are going to go round one more time by the look of that. So next time by will be the start of this. No, actually, no, they're going to go this time. I would have thought they'd go round twice. Let's go. Racing from Milwaukee on a Friday night, the Sharp Extensive I.T with Motorfocus Road to Indy Series. And Fodiatis clears out to an early lead by G. He played that to a T. And small field, but we had 18 starts tonight. Jamie Welch, the one at the back of the field with Gary Cousins. No Aaron Cooper, no John O'Hill, no Jason Dunn. The latter, of course, race control. But Aaron Cooper, I would have thought he might have make an appearance here, but that wasn't to be the case. Lap 2 of 145 and already 3 wide further back in the pack. Ray Hana forcing, muscling and hustling and bustling and trying to find his way through here. A little bit of hip and shoulder stuff back there in the pack. And these laps are going to race on by. So 145 laps. It's not going to take long for them to be here, be gone, having come and went. Let's wait and see. Yanni Soteria sits fourth. Good to see him in the IndyCar series as well. So Fodiatis, Cook and Lavis, the top three in the early stages here, which is exactly how we thought it would play out. Early observations from you, Chris Whitaker. The field's sort of settled into a rhythm. There's no real dicing going. Oh, no, trouble. Trouble for Joe Baldwin. Joe Baldwin coming onto the main straight has had a monster shunt. And, of course, we should point out, too, that on these ovals, there will be... Oh, that's a bad shunt for Hodak, too. On these ovals... Actually, that won't be Hodak. That'll be Dylan Gray. Of course, Frank Hodak not on the grid tonight. Dylan's in the Stone Cold entry, and that'll be Joe Baldwin as well. So that's quite unfortunate for those guys in the early stages here.
A little bit of distance between them there as well, so possibly a little bit of a netcode thing with one up the inside of the other. Unfortunately, we all know how iRacing operates from time to time, so unfortunate to see. But as we see, is that Jackson putting the move on there?
Yep, it is. And my apologies. I had someone in my ear saying it was Frank Hodak. They were absolutely right too, because I missed his name right buried down at the bottom of the order. So Hodak and Baldwin in trouble early. Now, what we should point out too, with these ovals, you will get the chance to get some laps back as the night goes on, claw back some time, because race control can deploy the safety car up to 3 times in these races. There'll be none in the first 5 laps, none in the last 10, but in those middle 100 and 30 laps, there's a chance that we will see the safety car 3 times. We went to Gateway a couple of weeks ago. We didn't see the safety car once. Apart from the scheduled competition caution. We kept it green the rest of the time. Tonight, distinct possibility that we will see the safety car more than once based on what we've already seen. And there's Adam Lavis sitting comfortably in third at the moment. So Fodiatis, Cook and Lavis, the top 3. And the fastest man on the track so far has been Angus Cook with a 23.26, but again, they're settling into a rhythm, apart from that incident for Joe Baldwin and Frank Hodak. And also before that, there was another car dropped well down the order too. We're pretty clear and clean at the moment. And what's disappointing for mine, Chris, we had 30 almost on the grid for Phillip Island. We've got 18 here for IndyCar, which is probably a fair reflection of the lack of love for ovals. It's certainly growing it, but it's not quite where it needs to be. I think that said, we'll see a lot of people come out of the woodwork for Indianapolis in a fortnight.
Yeah, agreed. It's one of those things, like at the end of the day, I know my limitations. I'm no good on ovals, so that's why I'm not out there tonight. So, but exactly as you say, come Indianapolis, there's everyone wants to win around there, so if the opportunity arises, I'll be out there having a bit of play with the guys. But see, with Nick out in front here, he did actually drag out to a 1-second lead earlier on, and Cook, he's peeled him in a little bit there, but I have a sneaking little suspicion, knowing how Nick runs his races, I reckon he's already in that conserve mode, because these things can save a lot of fuel when you're in the tow as well, and that's the benefit for Cookie and Adam as well. Yanni, the rest are going to have that massive advantage of getting the aero advantage in the tow, try to save a bit of juice when it comes pit stop time.
I tell you what, they'll be trying to save at least a litre per stint. if they can stretch it out from 30, well, because the fuel burn around here is 0.9 to 1 litre per lap. The tank is 35 litres, so 35 laps times 4 gets you to 140, 5 laps short of where you need to be. So they'll all be trying to save at least a lap and a quarter of fuel along the way here per stint, so that they can turn this from a 4-stop race into a 3-stop race, and that could be the integral difference at the end of the night. That said, with where cautions will throw up and where obviously where they may fall in place here could well throw a spanner in the works, because when you look at the tyre factor, you've got to take on tyres at some point. You're limited to how many tyre sets you can take on in this series. So many different determining factors here as to where these guys may stop and why, and that will again play a role in the decision making as to whether they go for a 4-stop strategy or a 5-stop strategy, or will they, like Nick, try and save fuel every step of the way and go 3. But the problem you've got here is where that competition caution falls usually dictates a lot of how this plays out, as we saw with Gateway. And because if it falls right in the middle of a stint, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you stay out, you compromise yourself by having to do a green flag pit stop. If you come in, everyone then ends up on a different strategy. We're all playing a different ball game. So there's so many different determining factors, and that's what makes Indycars the go-to series at the moment, the best thing on a Friday night, and it's what makes oval racing so unique as well.
Exactly right. I think if we see that competition caution around the 100, 105 sort of area, somewhere where we know they definitely can't make it, but exactly as you say, it throws a spanner in the works. What do? Do you go in and throw the soft tyre on, throw the option tyre on, and have you got 1 or 2 changes at that point in time as well? Have you already used some tyre to try to get yourself back up the field? So there's a lot of strategy involved, but the main thing for now is just obviously keeping out of trouble, making sure you stay on that lead lap and saving as much juice as you possibly can, because again, if we get a green flag stop and we see a couple of guys jumping in, anything can happen, and obviously the entry and the exit are going to be critical, but the actual amount of time that you stop is going to be a big one as well.
Frank Hodak and Joe Baldwin 2 and 3 laps down respectively, but still running. Fodiatis from Cook, Lavis, Sotorio and Rayhan are the top 5 as we work lap 20 now, or at least Fodiatis does. And that's looking out the back of Yanni Sortorio's car at Jackson Rayhana. That's the deficit at the moment. And they're closing in on Adam Lavis as well. Further down the order, Rick Vincent and Scott Rankin and Ben Miller are all fighting over the same piece of real estate as well, 7th, 8th and 9th, while Dylan Gray is out on his little lonesome. But Rankin and Miller particularly swapping places at the moment. There's not too much more than a coat of varnish separating them at this point in time. There they are, side by side. Have a look at that. So Miller follows Rankin through. That's 8th and 9th. Julian Mookie's the next one. Then Dentures got Laser Dave Farrelly for company at the moment, and Jamie Welch and Gary Cousins are having a good duke out. So there's battles happening around this place, and it's just a matter of how long until someone bites the bullet and decides to come to pit lane. And there is an alternative strategy here if you want to go 4 stops and spread it out. So, what do you need? You need 35 to get home, so that makes 110 the critical number. So if you want to 4-stop it to that point, you can come in anywhere around the 27, 28 lap mark between now and then of your stint. So anytime around 27, 28, we could see pit stops. But I think knowing these guys, knowing what they've seen, what they've observed, what they know works over the last few weeks, just look at Adam Lavis, look at Nick Fodiatis. They'll be trying to stretch this right from the outset. So they'll all be trying to hold something back. And Nick's leading from the front as an example of that at the moment. 24 laps in, 121 to go after the one we're on here. And it's Fodiatis from Cook and Lavis. 2 race winners in this series so far, and one man desperate for his first win tonight.
And looking at Nick as well, he's starting to check out a little bit here. He's sort of teetering between that 2.5 to 2.1 second lead, which it's typically about 1.7-ish, give or take, is where you see the toes start to come in effect for the fuel saving as well. So Any benefit that Cookie may have had earlier on, yeah, that's pretty well gone out the window now. He's going to be on the same fuel strategy. Okay, might be a litre or two up on where Nick's at, but yeah, he's not going to be getting the benefit. But obviously, also same with Adam back there in third, and yeah, really good to see Yanni on the grid as well. We all know how good he is on GT3s, so really good to see him right up the field in P4 on something very, very different from what we're used to seeing from him.
Very good observation indeed. Yeah, my eyes lit up when I saw him on the grid. I was like, hang on, this isn't a Monday night. What's going on here? But no, he's plying his trade, and it's good to see. Challenging himself. Here's Julian Mookie. Under pressure there from Matthew Dench at the moment. He's got Ben Miller right ahead of him as well. So the three of them duking it out for 9th and 10th. You don't want to be 11th in all of that, and that's exactly where Mookie's about to end up because Dench is coming up on the inside. But Mookie's made the outside work to his advantage, copying the slipstream as well from Miller, and he keeps Dench at bay for the moment. Oh, wide goes Miller, and Mookie goes through, takes Dench with him. And just like that, Miller's lost 2 spots. And here comes Dench down the inside of Mookie again. This time round, they're still side by side, halfway down the backstretch. So 29 laps in, and we've only just had a chance to really catch our breath here. Dench, Mookie, Miller, 9th, 10th, 11th. Good contest, good scrap, but hardly where they'd like to be. They'd like to be a little bit further up, where Fodiatis leads by 1.7 to Angus Cook, and then another 3.6 back to Adam Lavis. Rayhana and Sorterio keeping him good company at the moment. Then Dylan Gray, Scott Rankin closing in on Dylan Gray, actually. That's important to note. And then Rick Vincent, then this battle we've been talking about for the last 5 or 6 laps. But, I mean, really, given it's 145 laps, I mean, yeah, we're 30 in and it's gone like that. It's not taking much time to pass on by here. But this is the thing, isn't it? You've got 115 to go. You've got competition cautions. You've got pit stops. If you're down the order, there's a way to bounce back. It might be by default of, you know, getting a toe to the back of the queue, so to speak. But there's definitely a chance here. And just on that subject, Dylan Gray and Ben Miller have both jumped for the lane right now at the end of lap 30. So they're both in the lane. First stop of the night, and they've dropped a lap already. That's so easy to go a lap down around on these 1 mile ovals. So, yeah, so interesting to see how all this plays out, but it's not going to be won in this opening stint. And we know that. You can set the race up in the opening stint, but it's about being there after that competition caution, after that last pit stop, and it's just not happening at the moment because we are so far away from the end of this race. So if you're down the order there, Luke Turner's just apologised. He's had to run, but that's all right. He can enjoy his rumbos whilst he's watching the broadcast elsewhere. Good on you, mate. Thanks for your company tonight. But if you know, down the bottom of the field here, here's Dylan Gray coming back onto the racetrack. We've got a flash graphics flashback of him coming back onto the racetrack and looping it as well on the exit. That's amateur hour, unfortunately, from Dylan. And it's so easy to do because it's a tricky little rejoin here in Milwaukee. You kind of run out of road for the car, and then there's a wall there just for good measure. So if you're not precision-like on that real estate, on that track, you're on the grass, you're in the concrete. But, I mean, to try and wrap my tongue around the point I've been trying to make here, Chris, if you are Matthew Dench or you're Scott Rankin, you're looking at that competition as your buy into the last 35 laps of this race, because at the moment, Fodiatis, Cook and Maverick are just in complete control.
Yeah, exactly right. And obviously traffic management's going to be the other thing for these guys, the quicker guys, as Cookie jumps in the lane as well by the looks of things. So
yep, as does his teammate Jackson Rayhana. Mookie and Welch already there, and so too Matthew Dench now as well. So, I mean, Fodiatis, Maverick, they're both stretching out to 36 laps, and now I think they'll be getting ready to come in now as well. Here's Nick into the lane at the end of 36, so that's what we're talking about. He said 30 to 30, well, he said 35, but we always knew he was going to try and push for 36. And that's exactly what we're talking about. The only chance that you can three-stop it is if you can get 36, 37 laps out of a couple of your stints. And Scott Rankin's proving a point as well because he's going for 37 and he's leading the race right now.
I was going to touch on before, I'm not surprised that we saw Ben Miller come in a little bit early there as well. So, It's looking like he was having a bit of a struggle, possibly with tyre temp, not necessarily tyre wear, probably more tyre temp. Maybe drove it a little bit too hard at the start of the stint, but yeah, we see him jumped in early there. I think he was one of the first in the field, but it'll be interesting to see where he comes back through the field.
Yep. So Pete Matson, he continues to soldier on. This is a great opening stint from Pete Matson. He's going to get 38 out of his first stint, and there's the first caution of the night. The field brings us under caution.
That's
very bad news for Pete Matson. Very bad news for Pete Matson.
Depending how tight he is on fuel as well, he might find himself having to go in the pit, and he's staying out. So hopefully he's got enough juice to get around until the pit opens. That's a concern for him.
But this is exactly what we talked about, isn't it? As the field is brought under caution by race control and the on-track safety car for iRacing here. This is bad news for Pete, because even though he's hit that critical number, he's got the 38, and you can see him now starting to run out of juice. Actually, have a look at that. He's limping towards the line, or the lane, rather. This is the point. Let's have a listen to Pete, and let's see what we can pick up. He'll dive in this time, I'm sure. Yeah, he's in. Pete's in. And that's the last one to stop. I've just lost my live timing data, unfortunately, so I have to go back to the iRacing screen for the moment. But this is exactly what we talked about, Chris. 38 and 38 is 76. Another 38 gets you to 114. That gets you 31 stint home. So, I mean, and we all know that you can save a little bit of fuel under the course car as well. So, I mean, Matson's in a good spot. Even though he's going to be buried in the pack, he's good on fuel. Nick's in a good spot. Lavis is in a good spot because they got more than 35 out of the stint. Scotty Rankin's in a good spot as well. And we're only a quarter of the way through, but well, a little bit more than a quarter of the way through, rather.
Yeah, it all just comes down to where the final competition caution comes out as well. It's one of those things. I mean, I said it earlier as well, but I'd love to see it about that lap 100. So it just blows everything out of the water. Any strategy that you had at the start of the race, it's now irrelevant. It's basically a race to that point that is more or less meaningless. Buying yourself a ticket to the end, as our good old mate Scapey would say.
What do you mean by good old mate? I mean, I didn't even know he was a mate. Are you on a better level of acquaintance with Scapey than I am, are you?
Oh, apparently so. I don't know. I'm just making it out to be.
I thought that might be the case. Nothing like a little bit of BS from CW on a Friday night. We love it. 41 of 145, and we've just gone past 6 o'clock in the west, so we're slowly but surely creeping towards the moment where we can up the tempo here. But Fodiatis, Cook, Rayhana, and Lavis. What is it about those two, particularly Cook and Rayhana, where they're like they have this gameplay where they don't always start together, but they always seem to find each other. It's been a phenomenal performance from both of them thus far. Lavis is sitting in there as the quiet achiever. He might not have to lead a lap tonight. He might just bring it home as an 11th hour Chaz Mostert sort of surprise. We'll wait and see on all of that. Lights will be out on the safety car, I'd imagine, this time by the line. And we go racing next time by. Well, it looks like lights are still on the course car. Now we cross the line. Now they go out. Here we go. Lights out on the safety car. We're going to go green this time by. So, again, Chris, it's just about... And we don't know when these cautions are coming. That's part of the surprise for us. We suspect that there'll be a couple more because it throws the strategy game up and it makes things a little bit more interesting. But if this is the only one tonight, it's now going to be about outright pace. It's now going to be about getting to the finish. It's now going to be about stretching your fuel mileage. But because we've had this caution, it'll be a case of we may not necessarily need to save too much more to get 335 lap stints out of this. We're already in that second 35 lap window. So 75, 110, that gets you home. But there could be, and we don't know because, again, we were expecting as many as 3, and that's the limit. A couple of weeks ago in Gateway, we only got the 1. So we don't know if this caution is the last one or whether we're going to see the safety car again. We're back to green, however. Checked out, did Nick. Oh, geez. he saw the green flag and just hit the gas and got going. Brilliant restart from Fodiatis, and that's left Cook in the leach there, and they make their way around onto turn 3 and 4, and that's a great restart from Fodiatis. Capitalised and converted nicely, and yeah, again left Cook in the lurch, but that was a little bit of a slip up coming out of turn 4. That's going to allow Cook an opportunity here, and Angus doesn't need anything more than a sniff, and he'll have a crack.
It's going to be one of those ones where does he have a lob or does he not have a lob? He's going to have to make his mind up pretty quick what he's going to have a go at it here, I reckon. Not sure if that's the right move at this point of the race. Do you stay behind him and save a bit more juice first, or you just go for it while you've got the opportunity? I think Jackson's going to have a bit of a play as well here, possibly. So, is this Nick playing games, or is it Angus playing games? What's the go? I wouldn't be surprised if you see Nick just roll out of it a little bit here, run the high line, pull in behind these guys after a lap or two, and play his usual strategy game and save that fuel again. We know he's got it.
Here comes Cook down the inside. And Angus Cook's going to take the lead for the first time tonight. Nicely done. Again, called it to a T, Chris Whitaker. Ray Harner's now going to try and look up on the inside. But I tell you what, that was defensive from Fodiatis. That was really defensive from Fodiatis. Trying to keep Ray Harner at bay because he knows that these two often work in tandem. He might want to make it easy for them. And whether he'll let him go this time,
I'm pretty sure he had one defensive move, not three. So you might want to be careful doing those ones.
Oh no! They've come together. There goes Ray Harner. Oh no! I can't believe that. I really cannot believe that. I thought that they'd keep it cleaner than that.
Yeah, I'm not sure race control will see too kindly on that one either. This is going to be
no, I don't think so. I think Nick will be back down in pit road before you know it, and it won't be for a stop. 3, 2, 1. Here it is on the replay. Here comes Nick down to defend his line, which he's entitled to do. But unfortunately, Ray Harner was up the inside.
We need to go back to that other view there as well, where it just split away, because it did look like Jackson straightened out at the last second. But I know Nick was coming down, but there was still a lot of track to play with. So we all play games at the restarts, and it takes two to tango. But let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Well. That's the other thing I was going to say too. Here we go with Ray Harner. That's the other thing I was going to say too. That first move, the first lap it was aggressive from Nick. The second lap not as aggressive. And then it still ended up in tatters and tears, unfortunately. Here they come. 3, 2, 1. You can watch Ray Harner going down the inside, and then he's come up. Ray Harner came up then. Did you see that? He moved to the right.
That's what I was getting at. So he may get away with it. I mean, there was still a little bit of room to the left. He was probably a little bit aggressive with the way that he came down, but there was still room to move. So,
however,
that'll be Nick's argument. But
however, Nick has served the drive-through. He has been down pit lane for a second time here, and that's unfortunate for him. And
but the race is yet young. We're only a third of the way through, and again, even if he's gone down a lap, which he has, he can still get that on the wave around. So, hey, I'm going to stick with my tip. He's got good pace. We know he's good on the juice. So, see what happens if we get another couple of safety cars. Another one maybe in the next 20 laps would be nice for me. And get him the wave around, back onto the lead lap, back on the same fuel strategy as everyone else, and then see what happens at the end.
But this is exactly what you said. It's so early in the race, too early for aggressiveness of that nature. That was really forceful from the pair of them. 53 of 145. I'm just flabbergasted by that. I didn't think two of our championship contenders, and that's another critical, important point there. They've just given Adam Lavis a free pass here. Have the pair of them, because we know Ray Harner's buried down the order in position number 17. He's still circulating, but he's behind Sorteria, Dench, Baldwin, Hodak, and Fodiatis now. And he's 2 laps down. But I think there was also a little bit of mentality there from Nick, knowing how well they work when they're together, to try and keep them separated. When I say together, I mean Cook and Ray Harner. Try and keep them separated, because he knows that Jackson's the weaker link on the ovals. Cook has been the mainstay on the ovals, whereas the road courses have been Rayhana's wheelhouse. So there's a bit of gamesmanship going on there. I'll be interested to get their take on it post-race.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be a spicy meatball, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around for the post-race show tonight. Don't worry about that.
Indeed. Have we got any data on who did what with tyres in that pit stop? I'm just wondering, because they both pulled up on Nick pretty quickly. So have they thrown a bit of a wild card out there and taken a new set of boots right at the start here on that first safety car just to try to capitalise and get past Nick? Was it that, or was it fuel saving? Because it seemed, I won't say easy, but it seemed too easy for them to gain that ground when he got a good jump.
I wouldn't be surprised to see if everyone took new boots that time around, Chris. And the reason I say that is we've got 4 tyre sets to play with in this race, whereas on the ovals we've had, 2 or 3 on the road courses. We've had 2 or 3. So we've got 4 tonight. So I reckon new boots have been thrown on every single time here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I thought they may have only been on 2 sets still.
Yeah. So Nick's obviously up that, whether that was a request from the fellow racers and saying we need to change that, or whether it was this track's savage on tyres, we're going to give everyone a new set every stop. I don't know. I don't know. But if you come in for a 5th stop, then you're buggered because you won't be able to take on a new set. So Laser Dave Farrelly sits there in position number 5 at the moment. And we continue watching on. Angus Cook, Jamie Welch. Cookie's out to a 1.4 second advantage at the moment. He's sitting there just nicely. Ben Miller. Well, that being said, hang on. My timing's frozen again. I'm not happy about this, Chris Whitaker. My timing's chucking your Brisbane Broncos on 1 week off the next. It was lap 55. It's still on. We're on lap 60, so that's not going to work for me. Can we go back to the totem pole if that's at all possible, please, JP? Just bring us up the totem pole there on the left-hand side. There we go. We're still under green. Don't worry about the caution sign at the top there. That's now been removed. Cook, Miller, Welch, Lavis and Farrelly. And Dench and Vincent are in this screen of shot at the moment. Just having a look actually down the order. Dench is sitting down there 2 laps down. Rick Vincent's there on your screen in the 94. Bit hard to get a feel for this race at the moment because, well, the life's been sucked out of it at the front of the field. Miller, Welch, Lavis all chasing Cook. But again, Adam Lavis is just sitting there, biding his time, waiting for his moment. He's playing these oval races to a T. And it's good to see that at least someone is doing that.
He's the smiling assassin back there. He's just cruising along, doing his thing, driving his own race, doesn't care what everyone else is up to. They can do their thing. And we've seen it all too often. He pops up out of nowhere after the last stop. All of a sudden, hey, where did Adam come from? He's there, and he's a contender. So, I can't see him not doing it again tonight. He's obviously got track position. He's sitting nicely. He's getting a nice little toe off someone in front of him there, off Laser Dave in front of him there. And, hey, the other point I'm going to throw out there is I picked it as well. Ben Miller up to P2. So he was struggling before that first stop. And I'm wondering if it's just a matter that he's starting to get, come to grips with the oval course or the way the car is, the way the set is, whatever it was. But, towards the end of that first stint, he was really, really struggling with a bit of mid-corner push. But, it seems to be working for him now in P2.
Indeed. So 65 of 45. We've got Scott Rankin on screen there now in position number 8. Pete Matson and Julian Mookie for good company. The 2 teammates working together. They're trying to go with Rick Vincent, of course. So what's that? 7, 8, 9 and 10 at the moment. Or 6, 7, 8 and 9 rather. As they make their way back onto the main straight one more time. Collingwood trail the Western Bulldogs by 10 points at the moment. I've given up on the other game, but we'll let you know the full-time score between the Titans and the Broncos because that, I dare say, that could be a blowout and a foregone conclusion. Kevin Walters has his work cut out for him there at Red Hill. Don't worry about that. That was a brilliant performance last week for at least 50 minutes, and then this week they've not played from the start. So I'm going to start a petition for the Brisbane NRLW team to take their place in the premiership. Actually, they might put up a better performance. 68 of 145. Angus Cook is sitting there as the race leader. He's got Ben Miller 9 seconds down the road. He's just put a lap on. I'm going to say that's Parianastakis there.
And Miller in the lane.
So Miller in the lane. Surely that's unscheduled this early. 68. Oh, actually,
he did stop early, mate. So
he did stop early. You're right. Yeah,
now,
correct.
What happened with Yami? He's all of a sudden 3 laps down. Did he have an issue after that pit stop?
I'm not 100% sure, mate. He was in the pit lane for 50.93 seconds, and it was on lap 43. So whether something happened off the restart or under the caution there, yeah, it's a strange one. Because he has stopped twice, hasn't he? So Dylan Gray's also stopped twice. He's sitting there in 18th. In fact, Dylan's out of the race, 38 laps down. I'm happy to call that. 17 still running, though. Angus Cook, Jamie Welch and Laser Dave Farrelly, the top 3 right now. We're watching Pete Matson, and he's got Scott Rankin for company there. Pete's trying to go with Rick Vincent around the outside there. He just can't find his way by. Julian Mookie having a good run in the top 5. Jamie Welch, though, he's the one that impresses me. 19 positions gained. Lap 34 he pitted, so we're coming up towards the start of the second round of pit stops, and he is sitting pretty. Great performance from the Turtle tonight. And we're not even halfway, Chris. That's the exciting thing about this. We're about to hit halfway at the end of this next lap. Lap 72.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. In the wall. That's Jamie Welch coming undone. Can you believe that? And that, I think it was Rick Vincent that's got into the side of him. And Rick really shouldn't have been there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Rick Vincent too. If we can just get a close-up, I'm pretty sure that is the 94. And they're both plummeting down the order. That's so disappointing. So disappointing.
And that's commentating first if you've ever heard of it.
Pretty much. Yeah, there comes Vincent into the lane. We'll go back a little bit further on the flash graphics flashback. We've got Laser Dave Farrelly and Jamie Welch also in the pit lane at this point in time. Yeah, and I literally just said, and Welch didn't look like he had anyone around him in terms of a positional battle. And all of a sudden, commentator's curse strikes again. Not for the first time tonight, I might add. Having a good run.
I know, personally. No, look.
Oh yeah, ha ha.
If it's going to happen, you know, if that is going to happen, at least it wasn't at a real bad time. You know, we're coming up to that time where they're going to go for their second stop anyway, so he can jump in there, use his fast repair. It didn't look like he had to tow, so you know, not nice that it's happened, but definitely could have been at a worse time.
Could have been, absolutely. Angus Cook in the lane. Here we go at the end of lap 75. This is exactly what we talked about. 2:35 lap stints from here gets him home, so he's in a good spot. So we're on board with Julian Mookie, who sits third, it's important to note. Once we get a chance, once we get through this sequence of pit stops, folks, Jackson Raihana sitting down in 15th. He's in the pit lane now as well, out of contention tonight, unfortunately, as poor old Jackson. Oh, Mookie up the outside. That's not going to work for you, surely. Adam Lavis is just bunching this pack up nicely right now for us. Have a look at this. Lavis, Mookie, take some lessons on fuel saving from the master here, boys, because this guy's done it better than anybody so far this season. Lavis, Mookie, Matson, and Cook. And I say that being Nick Fodiatis' co-commentator Mondays and Fridays. And he normally is the fuel saving master, but Lavis is on an absolute charge here. Running to a number and running to a T and running beautifully. And into the pit lane he comes. And he takes Julian Mookie with him. Pete Matson takes the lead and continues on. Pete got 39 laps out of his first stint. He's going to get 39 out of his second unless he's going to go around one more time and come back to the lane on lap 40. And if that's the case, Pete's also one to watch tonight. So definitely a chance of a 6 different winner here as long as Cook and Maverick don't stay where they are. Pete's going to get 40 laps out of this stint. It's extraordinary.
Some impressive mileage.
Oh, incredible mileage, but also helped by the fact that He's just coming down the back straight now. I'm going to keep my eyes on him. I reckon he's coming to the lane this time by. He's got that tight line, that tight look about him. I'd say Pete Matson's coming to the pits. Yep, here we go. Matson's in the lane. You've got to remember that 4 of those laps were under caution, but still, to get 39 and 40 out of your 2 stints, that's really good stuff from Matson. So Cook takes the lead, Miller and Farrelly the next 2 through. And Matson's still in the lane. We've got our eyes on Laser Dave. Can he find a way by? Yes, he can. So he goes by Matson for the moment, who drops down to 5th behind Rick Vincent. Yeah. Where does this next caution fall? It's so incredibly critical now. And to be fair, with the exception of 1 or 2 pushes and shoves here, it's been a very clean night at the office. Nick's sitting 7th. Oh, look at that right around the outside, if you don't mind. Lap traffic just helping itself through. Or was that Julian Mookie putting a move on him? I'm not sure. No, I don't think it was Mookie putting a move on. I think it was lap traffic finding a way by.
No, you got to remember Nick's still lap down as well, so that's
that's right.
That is Mookie behind him, so that's actually full position for those guys.
Yeah, righto. Extraordinary stuff. So Angus Cook continues to lead 83. We're past halfway. 83 of 145. Friday night motorsport for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. You never know which direction we're going to take you on a Friday night with IndyCar. It ebbs and flows and swings and roundabouts, the storyline here. And we've got and we're just lucky enough to be the mouthpiece behind it for you, ladies and gentlemen, that get to describe all the insanity to you. Here's Pete Matson across the line in 8th. Down the inside. Oh, no, can't find a way by just yet. This is for position. Fodiatis and Matson. There's Lavis and Mookie for company. So I'm going to hazard a guess that it wasn't actually Mookie, because he has not cleared out by that much on Fodiatis in the last couple of laps. It was one of his teammates. So we'll find out who that was for you shortly.
I think my timing, applies to me as well. So
I'm surprised that mine's still working, if I'm honest. I'm just surprised mine's still working. 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time.
Again as well for their second stop, I'm assuming, or third stops for those guys.
So 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time for those of you just joining us. Stick around, the post-race show coming up, and it's going to be a good one too. 28-10 in favour of the Titans over the Broncos with 18 minutes to go. I dare say Brisbane have lost their chance tonight, and the Titans will be winning their first game of the season. And Broncos actually had a chance to get on the board. Both these teams losing last week, but it just goes to show that Brisbane's bid to be not the wooden spooner this year is going to be a little bit harder of a task than they might have hoped. There is Fodiatis in 9th. He's still a contender once this if this second caution comes. Oh boy, things are spicy here.
Early
now
stop.
this is interesting. Very early stop from Nick Fodiatis. Yeah. Now, this is the third stop, but the second stop was the drive-through. So, yeah, you're right. What the word coming through our ear is that he might have been fuel saving like crazy, which if he is, could be a masterstroke on Nick's part. But he cannot get. There's no way in hell he can get 57 laps out of a tank. Unless you're creeping around at the slowest of slow paces.
I'm wondering if it might be
a bit like how I'll be driving to Lakeside on Sunday if it's chipping down rain as it's supposed to be.
I'm wondering if it may have been a bit of damage. Has he caught a wall or something somewhere? Because it's odd to be fuel saving that much at this point of the race. You know, we've got another 50 odd laps to go, 55 laps to go, and to be a second a lap down on a 20 odd second lap, or 24 second lap, that's some pretty serious fuel saving, and I don't think it's really necessary at this point of the race.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Expert comments as usual from Chris Whitaker. Good to have him in the chair on a Friday night. Don't forget, folks, next week, 3 races of the 8 come from Phillip Island. We've also got the Belle Isle Grand Prix Detroit, Michigan circuit in there as well. We've got a race out of Phoenix International and also Twin Ring Motegi coming your way, plus Barber Motorsports Park. And, of course, the Freaky Friday venue will be confirmed next Thursday. What do you make of the Freaky Friday concept, Chris? Because the second week in a row we've seen you in on Freaky Friday. Yes, this week didn't go to plan. We've already documented that. But the combination seems to be it's a bit hit and miss. Some combinations are winning people over, some aren't. Tonight, Oran Park was always going to be popular, and we know how popular the Skip Barber is too.
100%. That's another one that just jumped out at me. I saw the Skippy at Oran Park. We did a race with the gents a couple of months back now. That was it was a cracker. Myself, Brendan, and Jackson had a really good battle for the entire race, and Brendan was actually kicking himself. He's down the coast for the weekend. I think it's the wife's Christmas party or something like that down there. But yeah, he was spewing that he couldn't make it because yeah, that's a good combo for him as well. So possibly a podium gone missing for him as well. But hey, we'll see what next week has to hold for us. Hopefully, it's another good combo like that. Maybe something like I know Bathurst and the Legends or something like that might get a good feel as well. So nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hint, hint, if anyone's listening. But yeah, hey, we'll have to see what comes on Thursday.
Can someone explain to them that if it is a Christmas party, that it's March? It's a bit early for a Christmas party.
Oh,
or are they trying to play catch up for last year? That'd be a bit like me having a 30.5 birthday from earlier in the week when my 30th was actually 6 months ago.
Yeah, no, it's a catch up from last year, so it's a Toyota thing. Fair enough. I don't understand.
No, fair enough too. Speaking of Toyota, there's the signs and the brilliant timing, comedic timing. 96 of 145. West Dallas, Wisconsin, playing host to round 8 of the Sharp Extensive I.T. Road to Indy with thanks to Motorfocus Series, and it is Angus Cook from Ben Miller and Rick Vincent at the front of the field. And this is the processional Mickey Mouse part of the race that I really don't like because everyone's too far spread out. There's no positional battles going on. It's just a test of man and machine and the mental capacity of these guys to keep it on the black stuff and not let pressure get to them, not put themselves under any pressure, and just keep punching out numbers and lap times. 98 of 145. And there are just 8 cars left on the lead lap. And I'm disappointed to say that Podiatis is one of them a lap down, as is Jackson Rayhan, the 2 guys that you'd expect better from. And where that caution flies could be a very big integral part of the next stanza of this race, if we are going to have one, because we have had instances in the past where we have a competition caution on road courses and we have on ovals the potential to throw 3 cautions. Not necessary though, and given that we're not getting too many crashes, Chris Whitaker, it could well be a duke out all the way to the checkered flag here, in which case advantage Angus Cook.
Well, yeah, exactly right. Advantage to Angus for sure. But yeah, I mean, a safety car right now with Nick going in the pit earlier on. Okay, he's 2 laps down at the moment, but he's up an extra stop on everyone else. So he kind of needs everyone else to jump in the lane now, and maybe then a safety car. But then what does he do? Does he go back in, take the boot? So I'd say that's maybe what he did earlier on, was reverse engineer this last stop and try work out. Do an early stop now and then do 2 full stints to the end. Maybe that's what he's thinking. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to make it out still, to be honest. But he's put himself down another lap. That's what doesn't really make sense to me. But there's something going through his scon that seems right. So we'll see what comes of it. But yeah, it is a little bit processional at the moment. So I'm kind of hoping for a safety car, to be perfectly honest. Just try to bunch it back up a bit.
Yeah, great.
Add a little bit more excitement, as someone's going very slow back there. I don't know if that's someone in the wall.
That could be what we're hoping for. 103 of 145, and Trucker Joe Baldwin's in the pit lane now as well. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's a little bit processional, but still Adam Laver sits 5th at the moment. Angus Cook, so put it this way, if Angus Cook can get the job done, that'll be 3 sets of 2-time race winners in as many weeks. Lavis, Rayhana, and then Cook. So keep your eyes on that. Lap 104 of 145. Probably a good opportunity for us to crank up the volume here and just have a listen to these IndyCars at work around the 1 mile. And as you can see, it's a fair workout here. We had a car on the wall, yet no cautions. So play on here in Milwaukee. The Sharp Extensive I.T Motorfocus Road to Indy Series. And it's looking good if you're Angus Cook at the moment, because we're getting to that critical point, Chris Whitaker, as we have a look at a flash graphics flashback. Lap 110 is going to get him to the point where he can come in, top up, get home, and comfortably home. As Rick Vincent pulls up on the side of the road and smashes into the wall. That's job done for him. Maybe he was trying to get us a caution. I don't know. Is it a bit like Wheel of Fortune? Can we buy a vow, please? I'm
wondering if that was coming out of the pit. He's given a bit too much gas. I did see that he was in the pit only a lap or two earlier, maybe. But he already had the wheel broken there, where we saw him use the wall as a braking mechanism. But unsure why we didn't get a yellow there. I would have thought we would have got a yellow from a hit like that, but I guess being that it was off the racing surface, not to be. But we press on. We'll see where it ends up.
Indeed, we will. Julian Mookie sits there at the moment. Ben Miller now on your screen. 110 of 145. This is the critical number.
And there it is. Cookie in, Rayana in,
straight on cue.
Well.
So they're all in on cue, en masse.
And this is going to be
Hunter and Dench.
This is where we're going to watch Nick as well, because he's going to unlap himself at least one of those laps. So go, Nick! Come on, faster! Get back on that lead lap, buddy.
I'm still waiting to find out about the fallout from that collision between him and Rayhana. Like, that was race changing. That it should have been a 3-way duke out between Cook, Rayhana, and this bloke. And then it all, went to, for lack of better expression. And
Rayhana must have, obviously would have had to tow from that as well, which has put him the extra lap down straight off the cuffs. So I think he went 3 down at one stage, and he's dragged 1 back. But it's probably a bit of a track position thing for him at the moment as well. He's on the same fuel strategy as everyone else from what I'm seeing as well. So as we see Laser Dave jumping in the lane, and I'm sorry, I don't know what that initial is.
No, that's fine. So Fodiatis on screen there now in position number 10.
Gary, of course. My bad. Sorry, buddy.
I was going to say, when you look at the leaderboard here, Cook regular at the top end of town. Great to see Julian Mookie and Pete Matson having a great run. They're due for a stop any tick of the clock. Miller, Lavis, Rankin's having a good run in 6th. And not that there's any sort of rivalry in amongst these guys at all in the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, folks. But I tell you what, by the way, Mookie's in the lane and Astakis is in the lane, and Miller was in there not too long ago as well. So too Rankin, Cousins, and Farrelly. I tell you what, the driver of the 99 won't be too happy if he gets to the end of this race and the name S. Rankin is ahead of him on the finishing order. I'm just going to put it out there. So we'll wait and see on that. because our mate in the 99 wears his heart on his sleeve. So it hasn't been an easy night in the office for him. And he promised that he'd come in and have a chat post-race because he's going to give us a Driver of the Night nomination from the earlier race, which, by the way, Chris, that's your duty for this race. Yeah, I don't know. I think there'll be a little bit of red mist descending along Nick's sim rig at the moment. So Cook and Miller, and yeah, this is the other thing too. We're still 28 laps out from the end of the race, which we're going to easily get through on time certainty at this point. 49.45 was the time by the line last time around. They're getting 2 and a bit laps a minute, so that takes care of that. But if we do get an extra safety car here, Nick's going to get the lap back and then a chance to really properly go for it. Because there's no way, it was 86, there's no way he's getting 59 out of a tank. So he's going to have to come in and stop at some point. But could he be waiting for that caution and then go all guns blazing, the wick up on the last lap? We wait on the last stint. But we're running out of time for that caution as well. It's got to fly before lap 135, Chris. Once we get to the end of 135, that's it. No more cautions, no more excuses, that's it. And I just think that because he's put out on oval races, we can have 3 safety cars. He's holding hope that we might have another one.
You know, not only that, he's going to be due to come in the pits in the next couple of laps as well. So if it's going to happen, he's going to be praying that it's going to be the next probably 5 laps or so.
So, yeah, don't forget as well, folks, come and join me West Bromwich Radio tomorrow morning, 9 till midday. Don't forget to join JP's Simshed Broadcasting Tuesday night when Chris Kisby and I bring you the latest round of the MTS Supercar Championship. Of course, on the back of a 1-week break this week. Looking forward to getting stuck back into that Tuesday night, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time, on the Watkins Glen Boot Circuit, the full course Watkins Glen. Looking forward to that. That'll be, of course, Tuesday night, and then the T2 series on the Wednesday night. Gentlemen Sim Racing Club stuff Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for you as well. Oh no, Gary Cousins has scraped the wall. Now, that's interesting. Does he become a sacrificial lamb there for Nick Podiatis? I don't want to speculate, but does he become sacrificial lamb there? Oh, well, was there contact? Was there contact with the car in front? And the car in front escapes me because it's just blasted on through. They're too fast. But was that serious? Yeah, let's wait and see. Podiatis is in the lane. This is Nick's last stop. This will be his last stop. He'd be running on fumes at the moment, both in the car and out as well. You want to chime in there, Chris, or not?
Oh, I laughed to myself, mate. Yeah, I did laugh to myself there for you, but look, that's another one that goes beckoning as well. It's that was a clear incident on the track, and I think a nice little yellow would have gone well there. I think the only one that says otherwise is probably Cookie out in front by 9.7 seconds. But
yeah, exactly. In a league of his own.
Exactly right. So it's it's a little bit spread out here again, or still rather. So
yeah,
something to stir it up wouldn't be a bad thing at this point in time. But look, full credit to Cookie as well. He's driven a good race. You know, he's kept things clean, he's kept it straight, and just gone about his business and done his thing. So I mean, it's easy to say that if we had Nick and we had Jackson up there, that would have a 3-way battle and what could have been, but I guess the same deal. If I didn't spin out the first lap of the last race, then what could have been there as well. So
you probably could have got another W next to your name. Absolutely.
Exactly right. That's it.
Yeah.
So
speaking of W's next to your name, there's not any of them coming anytime soon for the Brisbane Broncos. They're hopeless. 28-10, yeah, 28-10 with 3 minutes to go. The Titans are going to get the job done there, but not without maybe a consolation try from the Broncos to make it 28-16 or 28-14 at the very least. And they are over the line as well. So 28-14, kick to come. I tell you what, I'm annoyed because I'm back in a footy tipping comp and I drop another game there. And that's 2 for the weekend thus far. It hasn't been a good start after getting the full set last week. But again, I'm not convinced as we watch Yanni Sorda-Ryu here. This is the closest battle on the circuit. It's for 12th and 13th. It's Hodak and Sorda-Ryu. But I'm not convinced that Brisbane are going to be the wooden spooners this year. Oh, caution, caution, caution. There we go. 18 laps to go. The caution's been thrown. The race is alive and back on. Oh, boy. And look at this. Look at this. Mookie, Rankin, Wavis, Farrelly, Matson, they're all going to get their lap back. Unfortunately, Nick's 2 laps down, so he's going to be out of contention here. So too is Anastakis Rayhana. So too is Welch, 3 laps down, Hodak and Sorda-Ryu. But this race just had another little spicy meatball thrown its way with Julian Mookie, Scott Rankin, Adam Lavis, Laser Dave Farrelly, and Pete Matson all about to get a lap back.
And the big question here is, how long does our option tyre last? Do we get 10 laps? Do we get 8 laps? Do we get 15 laps?
Exactly.
What tyre do you actually put on it now? I mean, you're going to see...
Does anyone want to come in and gamble it? If you're Angus Cook, you want to stay where you are, don't you?
100%. But, I mean, everyone else behind's probably going to be throwing boots on. I'd be jumping in this lap, while you'll probably see a few others jump in next lap. So even if it throws you the end of the line, it's probably worth it. Get the tyre temp up and go for it. So as we see a couple of wave rounds going through now.
Yep, the wave rounds have started. 16 laps to go. We get the caution. Yeah, again, 28-16. I'm not convinced that the Broncos are wooden spoon material this year, but they've obviously met the match with the Gold Coast tonight. So it obviously says the Gold Coast is a better unit than what they were last year as well. And yeah, we'll see how that plays out across the rest of the season. But yeah, disappointing start for the Brisbane, but signs that they're not going to be the easy beats they were last year. 16 to go here from West Allis, Wisconsin, and this is the Milwaukee Mile, the bull ring of IndyCar racing. I must admit, it's a shame. We've been talking about this for a while. There are so many different... Cookie's thrown everyone a dummy and stayed out. And Frank Kodak's in. We've got Rick Vincent flying around the outside to take his lap back. And I think he's taken Jamie Welch and a couple of others with him. Jamie Welch is actually in the lane. So I'm just trying to figure out Joe Baldwin, Gary Cousins. They're all going to get a lap back here. Everyone's going to get a lap back except for the top 3. Scott Rankin, he's sitting there in the pit lane at the moment. He's gambling. Oh, boy. 15 to go. Pressure on. These IndyCar races always end up being pressure cooker affairs. And with this caution thrown in, the other thing they're racing is the clock as well. I don't want to put pressure on anybody, but they're racing the clock now as well. We may not get that 15 laps. It could be time certain by the skin of our teeth.
Can we get 2 weeks in a row? Looking forward to it.
Don't you start, fair income. I mean, it's bad enough last week, but this will be the 3rd one of the season if it goes time certain tonight. And here I was promoting it as a 145-kilometre race. Yeah. Sorry, 145 laps, rather, not 145 kilometres. So Adam Lavis has come in as well. Now, that's interesting. Dench goes in. Anastakis has headed down pit road as well. We have 7 cars on the lead lap. Fodiatis, the first of them, a lap down here. And, yeah, the less said about that, the better. I think Nick's not going to be a happy chappy when he comes in post-race here, because I've said it all along, he's due for a win.
Another wave round.
Actually, that's a good point. I think he's just got another wave around. So, wow.
The lead lap. If this goes an extra lap of caution, he goes
he's going to get it on. He's going to get back on the lead lap.
On. 12 laps to go by that stage when they get the green, and it's game on.
Lights are going to go out on the pace car, I think, this time around. Oh, no.
Delayed.
They've just delayed the start for another lap to bump the field up. So it's going to be 12 to go. You are absolutely right. It's going to be 12 to go next time by. I'm a little bit concerned because I think there's been a couple of waiver rounds thrown that maybe didn't need to be thrown. I noticed Jackson Rayhana hasn't got another waiver round here.
Did just see a Summit car going around then. I'm not sure if that was him or not.
No, I don't think so.
Now, more importantly,
Rayhana there.
what tyre is Maverick thrown on? What time's that? What tyre is that thrown on? Is it the option tyre? Is it the hard tyre?
And that's the thing too. One thing we haven't spoken about too much throughout the night, I know you have, are these option tyres, the red walls and the blacks. The red walls are the quicker ones, but they're going to deteriorate faster. At this point in time, when you're only running for 10, 11, 12 laps at most, you're not too concerned about that. But this time by, we're going to get a restart. Titans 28 defeated the Broncos 16. And I'll give you an indication as to how the AFL's going in just a second. It's the Bulldogs and Collingwood, of course. Three-quarter time, the Dogs up by 4 goals, 61-37. Green flag and racing. Race to the checkered flag. It's on now. 12 laps to go. Cookie checks out. Cookie's the man to beat. Now, this is so critical in the last 12 laps here because you don't want to be in traffic. You don't want to make a mistake. Everything's bunched up again. You do not want to make a mistake and bring undone all your hard work from the night that was. Across the line goes Angus Cook. What a start to the final stint of the race for him. 23.69. Miller, Mookie, Rankin and Farrell in the top 5. Matson, Fodiatis, they're all in there as well. Ray Hana is now back on the lead lap, so he did get a lap back under that caution. But they're buried. And there's Lavis in 9th as well. There they are. Oh, gee. That was close, wasn't it? He had a huge sniff down there on the inside. Here he comes. He's looking to charge through. He's taking Ray Hana with him. They're going to work together, this pair. Although, did they really want to work together after how it all unfolded earlier? I don't know. Nick's going to take the high line. Jackson the low line. Nick's trying to go with... I'm just trying to figure out if that's Laser Dave Farrelly. Now, there's Miller. Miller under all sorts of pressure. He's got the teammates ganging up on him. He's got Rankin and Mookie, and Rankin to second. What about that? 9 to go. Next time by the line, 8 to go. 1 minute 1 last time by the line. They might just squeeze this in. 8 to go in Milwaukee. They're just going to sneak it on the time certainty, which is incredible. Magnificent stuff. Rankin, Miller, Mookie. Miller, the meat and the sandwich here as far as the Sharp E.I.T. guys are concerned. What a great drive this would be from Scott Rankin if he can get a second tonight. Oh, no, Jackson Ray Hana's not. It's done. His race has come unstuck. And was it again with Nick? No, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, wow. And that's what happens when championships are on the line, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happens. So is Nick coming to pit lane one more time? I don't know.
I don't think there's much in that one.
That could be a free kick for Adam Lavis here, let's be honest. Wow. I don't really know. Apart from saying that the middle, Scott Rankin's cleared out. He's checked out. He's going out in pursuit of Angus Cook with 5 laps to go. Apart from saying that the middle part of the race was very processional, very uneventful, I don't really know where you start to summarise the first quarter and the last quarter because it's been off tap as it usually is in an IndyCar race on a Friday night, particularly when it's an oval race. Next week, the challenge for me is to find somewhere in the confines of the town of Warwick to commentate the race where I don't wake the dead or disturb the peace at any hotel that I might be checked into so that I can be with you on a Friday night. But I think Freaky Friday's going to be Nick and someone else flying the flag there for you. I'm really looking forward to next Friday night all the same. 4 laps to go. Great work from Angus Cook.
He's just come through on Ben Miller as well there.
So the Sharp E.I.T. boys sit 2nd and 3rd at the moment. What about Angus Cook? His PB of the night, 23.09 on lap 141. That was just fantastic. Miller's all over the back of Mookie still. Farrelly and Matson are having a good scrap. Maverick and Fodiatis as well. And look at Miller all over the back of Mookie there. 2 laps to go. Next time by, white flag for Angus Cook. And just like Adam Lavis, he's going to double up on an oval. What a performance it's been. we are going to have 3 two-time race winners going into the final 2 rounds of the season. And when countbacks come into play, this guy is going to be a serious title contender. Last lap in Milwaukee. We're going to scrape in with about half a minute to spare on the time certainty. You bloody beauty. What a performance down the back straight from Angus Cook. This has been a performance for the ages from him tonight. This has been one of his standouts of the season. He's led much of the night without assistance from his teammates, and he gets his second win of the season in the Sharp Extensive I.T. with thanks to Motorfocus Road to Indy Series for the German Sim Racing Club. That's why we love Friday Night Motorsport. Cook's done it again. He got the job done by mere inches in Las Vegas, and now in the broad daylight in Milwaukee, he got the job done very comfortably, even with that late race caution thrown in for good measure. What about Rankin and Mookie? The Sharp EIT boys bring it home second and third. Unbelievable. And I should have pointed out, too, I didn't mention this at the start of the night. We had so much going on here, I didn't even get to mention it. 27 degrees, partly cloudy was the ambient temperature here, 35 on track. So it was beautiful conditions for racing. And the race took us till about, 4:13 in the afternoon on what is Easter Sunday server time, the 4th of the 4th, 2021. So at a time where it's only 14-hour time difference between here and there. In fact, Wisconsin's in the mid parts, so it's 15 hours difference. My apologies. But what about that? Cook, Rankin, Mookie, Miller, and Farrelly, the top 5. I would have liked to have had a box trifecta on that. Fair income. You wouldn't have expected that at the start of the night. You would have expected would have expected Rayhana and Fodiatis to be up there. Yanni Sotorio, I'll be interested to find out what happened there as well. And there's finishing order. Cook by 3.2 in the M from Rankin, Mookie, Miller, and of course, Farrelly. Then you go back to Matson, Lavis, Fodiatis, a distant 8th in the end. So Maverick got by. Adam Lavis got by. Fodiatis on the last lap. They're extraordinary. Anastakis, Welch, Sotorio, Hodak, Baldwin, Vincent, Cousins, Dench, Rayhana, and Dylan Gray, a distant last in all of that, retiring after only 30 laps. Jackson Rayhana, a late race retirement as well, being the fact that he was still in the pit lane after that second incident with Nick Fodiatis. Let's bring him in here for post-race chat, shall we? Fair dinkum.
I do that every Friday night. That was great.
I'm looking forward to this post-race chat. Fair dinkum. Because there's a lot to try and dissect, especially from the standpoint of the championship implications of that, and also Chris Whitaker. I mean, that top 5, you wouldn't put your money on that at the start of the day, but that's the joys of IndyCar. It always throws up something unexpected.
Particularly when you got a safety car with 15 laps to go as well, it throws the spanner in the works in a big way, and the extra wave rounds, things like that got the guys who were 2 laps down back on the lead lap. So anything really could have happened there. I guess anything did happen at the same time as well. So, but yeah, obviously a little bit processional through the middle there, but at least we got a good finish on the end. So good start to the race, which is critical. Good finish to the race. That's what it's all about.
For the 3rd week in a row, we have a driver that's already tasted success in this series going to victory lane for the 2nd time. Angus Cook does the Friday night double for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's what should also be noted. We haven't had a Friday night double so far this season, but Angus Cook has now wiped the floor clean with everybody tonight and just cemented himself really nicely in championship contention here, mate. That couldn't have gone any better to script for you.
How easy are Friday nights?
Okay.
I was in Fuel Map 7, so pretty much doing about 0.85 of a litre for about 90% of that. Straight through, lap the field, all but Ben, because we were running a bit the same strategy. Didn't get into trouble at all, and it was smooth sailing. So even with that safety car, I did my fastest lap of the race with 2 to go. So wasn't really scared of the fact that people behind me had tyres, because was pulling away from them despite them having fresh tyres. So had them covered. I
think Zach Cabin's just muted himself. You there, Zach?
Yeah, no, I just had to clear my throat. Sorry about that. The old
I'm
Cordial has gone
surprised.
down the wrong tube. Scott, I'll get to you in a
I'm on the
moment,
podium
mate,
as well, mate. Don't worry.
because let's just address that in a moment in its own right. Cookie, you've had your 2 drop rounds. Once that all gets recalculated, you are seriously a title contender now. What has been a race of 3 is definitely a race of 4 now. And you and Jackson, no doubt, the next 2 weeks, team tactics are going to play a big part in how all this plays out, because it's you against Adam against Nick.
Yeah, I've been saying it all season, but not until week 8 we realised, because that's when it becomes real. So yeah,
exactly.
I knew I had the pace. Not concerned about the pace either going to Barber. Again, my thing's just been, if you're best of the rest, you'll be up the top just with everything that happens. So that's exactly what happened tonight. Even with, there were a few incidents there. Nick was quick. I think he would have been the key rival there. But really, the car just got better and better. I didn't even touch it. Chucked a fuel tank and tyres at every stop, which I think Ben might have done the same, where we took tyres on that early stop where no one else did to save them in case of this late safety car. And I was going to do the exact same, but Declan told me not to in my corner, told Jackson I not to, and pretty much, just fill the tank up, take tyres every stop, and that's exactly what happens. Without that safety car there, it would have pretty much lapped the field, because I have a feeling, Ben wouldn't have made it to the end, I don't think, whereas I had, even without that safety car, about 3 laps of fuel in the tank.
And I mentioned it right from the outset, because the fuel numbers and everything got sent to me. If you were burning a litre a lap, you'd get a 35 lap stint, easy. But the trick was to burn a little bit less, extend it out to 36, 37 laps, even 38. And I think we even saw a 39 from Pete Matson, which was astonishing. And that was in the first stint just before the caution got called, to make it a 3-stop race. And Cookie, that worked in your favour as well, because even when that last safety car came out, you had track position up your sleeve. You didn't need to come in. Were you even tempted, or were you happy with where things were tyre-wise?
I was tempted, because what would have happened was, if I had a pitted, my teammate would have gone back to 1 lap down, and then with the safety car would have been put on the lead lap. But ultimately that happened anyways. A couple of cars got 2 wave rounds, which was great, because it means they're on the lead lap fighting. Not at all was I tempted. I only touched the 24s once, and that was when I was behind Nick. Apart from that, I did 23s every lap of the race, apart from in the safety cars. So I don't know, it just shows that you can fuel save, you can do all of that and still be fast, and that's exactly what happened today. And yeah, people just, people were there, but different strategy played out in my favour, and away we go. Flash graphics sounds quick, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Angus Cook does the double on a Friday night. It doesn't get better than that, does it for you, ladies and gentlemen? Anywhere as far as sim racing is concerned, what you've just witnessed tonight, fantastic stuff. I mean, as I said, the middle of the race, particularly Skip Barber as well as Indycar, both a little bit lackluster, but the top and the tail have both had absolutely everything you could ever imagine, and a whole lot more. Chris Whitaker's here. Anything you want to pose to the race winner question-wise, mate?
Oh, no, not really. I think he just owes me a 6-pack for binning it on that first lap so that he could get the double, that's all. So, yep, there's a thumbs up on the stream there. So, no worries, I'll hold you to that one.
All right, good stuff.
No, great drive tonight, mate. Well, really well done to get the win in both of them. It's a good effort, mate. Really well done.
Hey, Gus, he didn't specify what as far as the 6-pack was concerned, so water's a lot cheaper, if you know what I mean.
I was going to say the 6-pack of like those tiny little shots that you can get. That'll do. Anything tiny.
Anything. We're all for freebies here in the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Hey, Scott, let's come to you, because your teammate Julian Mookie's in here as well. We've got Ben Miller standing by. We've got Dave Farrell here as well. We've got Nick Fodiata standing by. We've got the whole box and dice here as we recap what's been a cracker from Milwaukee and a championship-defining race as far as the championship is concerned. We're only 2 weeks to go. So in the next half hour or so, we're going to look at what happened tonight, and then also look ahead to the next 2 weeks, because, by gee, there's plenty ahead. There's no doubt about that. Scott, you said to us in the lead-up that you'd been working on your ovals all afternoon. By gee, it paid off.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's ultimately with ovals, like I said, it's racecraft, and I needed to work on that racecraft. Milwaukee, I haven't turned a lap at Milwaukee prior to qualifying. I think I turned actually maybe 5 in practice, so I was really just sort of looking for braking markers. It's a road course in disguise, basically, so it's actually not all that hard. A lot of the same skills that you would be pulling off on the road courses definitely do apply here. Strategy played a big part. I don't think I was running around in fuel map 7. I was too far down to be able to do that, so I was running around in, I think, fuel map 6, fuel map 5, just basically just looking for any openings that presented themselves, and then basically said to myself, right, if a safety car comes out here, we're on for it. Otherwise, the top 5, you can't complain really, and things fell my way. And then, boy, oh mate, I tell you what, the nerves when that restart went on and I found myself right in the window behind Julian and Ben.
Yeah.
Like,
I was going to say that racing in the last few laps there, even though there were 2 teammates in that battle, you and Julian, you didn't mind ganging up on poor old Benny in there, but that was cracking stuff.
it was, and honestly, I do actually have to say a big thank you to Julian for the space that he made, but Ben as well. Like, it was good, it was clean, it was fair racing. I think I had the spare set of tires there at the end, and I just went for it. I said, look, you know, I've got the grip advantage. You guys are going to have to come after me. You guys are going to have to make the blocks. You guys are going to have to position your cars correctly. And I just found the openings and put the car everywhere I needed to put it. And I wanted to have a crack at Angus, but I think I forced him to turn up the fuel mix just again to try and go for a few laps there at the end, eh, Gus?
Not quite. I mean, again, I felt comfortable. I just did what I did the rest of the race. The thing that probably would have undone a lot of drivers is all of a sudden, after using fuel map 7, really slow out of the corner, to suddenly have fuel map 1 where, you know, you get on the gas and you start looping it. So I just did what I did and kept doing that because it was working.
Well, look, I mean, I was looking at my timing screens with about, as soon as I got clear of Julian and Ben, I looked at my timing screen and I said, look, I've got 3 seconds here. Let's have a crack. And I did. I think I brought it, at one stage, I think I got the gap down to about 1.6. And then Gus just drove it away from me. So I think I probably overheated the tyres there, to be perfectly honest with you. But I did everything I needed to do by that point and then just backed myself in. So,
hey, let's bring in Julian Mookie at this point in time. Sharp Extensive I.T, we wouldn't be able to do this series on a Friday night without him. 2 cars on the podium. Yes, okay, you didn't lead the team home, mate, but you've got to be proud of that.
Yeah, it's exciting and great to get 2 cars on the podium. Well done, Angus and Scott. Yeah, so just ran a consistent race, tried to stay out of trouble, and fuel saved the whole way, and I had plenty of fuel at the end and fresh tyres. So rolled the dice and got blocked a bit, so Scott got a run on me, let him through, and then tried to... I knew I had the speed on Ben, so just chased after him.
Indeed, and Ben, we'll bring him in as well at this point in time. He's sitting there patiently waiting for us, mate. Well done, because that was a cracking drive from yourself. 4th in the end. It could have been 3rd, it could have been 2nd, but those Sharp EIT boys in the end, they just pounced when it mattered. How critical was the? I mean. How did things balance from your standpoint in that last restart? Were you happy to see the pace car there with 20 laps to go, or were you hoping it went green all the way?
Yeah, I stood a chance that whole race, to be honest with you. I think that's the only second time I've ever driven Indycars. So as far as like fuel mapping, all that sort of stuff, I haven't ever played with it. I just kind of got in and had a go. But I pit stopped right. I jumped in the pits and put about 5 litres in right at the start of that last safety car. So managed to go in and out and not lose any positions. So if it wasn't for that, I would have been in trouble. So, but yeah, I was happy to let the boys go once they caught up to me. They had plenty of pace on me, so I had a bit of a battle with Julian there the last couple of laps, which was fun. But yeah, ultimately he had the pace on me, so I just let him go, which is no point ruining his race. So it was good fun.
Yeah, indeed. Hey, Angus, I'm going to come back to you very shortly because there's a notable absentee from the post-race show tonight, and I'm sure there'll be a nice team debriefing after this as well. Let's bring in Dave Farrelly at this point in time. Stay with us, Ben. Stay with us, Julian. And, Scott is back in position now. He was just up cheering and yahooing a couple of seconds ago, so we'll get back to him very shortly as well. Dave Farrelly. Top 5 laser. You got to be happy with that, mate. I mean, up 7 spots from where you started on a night where Julian Mookie actually took the points for the most positions gained, by the way, with 13, which just goes to show qualifying isn't everything, nor is outright speed. You just got to be consistent, mate, and that's what's rewarded you tonight.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, just driving hard, driving straight, keeping it clean, and good battles there at the end with Pete, and Ben come through at one stage. I got slowed up, and he got a run and sliced through the middle. It was good fun.
What do you make of the race as a whole, mate? Because Chris and I were both saying from the outset, you can go hard early if you want to, but it's not going to be won until that last stint. Not knowing that it was going to be as late as it was starting, because we didn't know the safety cars were coming when they did. What was your game plan? What was the plan of attack? What did you make of the night that was?
It's raining here in Brisbane was my game plan, and bought the track at 5 to 7, and away I went.
I love it. I love it. Less said about the fact that it was 5 to 7 here in Brisbane, the better. We're only 2 weeks from being back in sync with the rest of the East Coast, and I cannot bloody wait. Stay there with me, Dave. We'll get back to you very shortly. Let's throw the conversation to our good mate, Nick. Am I right in saying that there's some sort of pole curse that exists in IndyCar for oval races, mate? Because that's 4 times we've had the pole sitter not convert on an oval. There's a little bit of a curse there, I'm sure of it.
Oh, look, possibly. My race to lose for being on the pole, so yeah, maybe.
Yeah, true. Talk us through it, mate, because obviously there's a lot to try and dissect with you. Most notably, 2 incidents with our good mate Jackson Ray Harner, and also obviously the subsequent drive through pit lane as a result of that, and a few other things as well. It wasn't your night, was it?
No, I mean, the first one, I just doing everything I can because I'm fighting by myself at the front with 2 of them. He's got teammates up there, so I was trying to avoid everything I could to not get teamed again like Phillip Island. And I thought the block was fair, and 9 out of 10 times you back out of it and go around the outside. But anyway, persisted on the inside. I don't know how he's going to make it around the corner. And then the second time, I crossed him over. I crisscrossed him, and I thought there was room there, but unfortunately, he was again on the outside. So, look, if he doesn't talk to me, he doesn't talk to me. I can understand he's going to be a bit pissed. But I thought the moves were fair. But like you guys know, I say it every week. I have no intention of making any contact with anybody. And it's just the way it happened.
Hey, Chris Whitaker, can I bring you back in at this point in time? Because it's Video City here at the moment, folks. All the boys have turned their cameras on and sitting there. So if we can show you some of the heads for radio that exist within the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, we will. And there's a fair reason why I don't have a camera attached to the PC at this point in time. Chris, I'll bring you back in. As the expert commentator, I'm going to let you give your opinion on that, because we both commented earlier in the race that it was forceful, aggressive from both of them for that early in the race. If you were the judge, jury, and executioner, which way would you have ruled?
I'd probably have to see a few more views before I made an absolute call on it.
Nice.
I'm not trying to sit on the fence here or anything, but to throw it all on the line, you need to have all the angles and all the evidence with you there as well. And being that I haven't actually done laps here myself as well, to sort of follow through with what Nick's saying there, with not sure how Jackson was going to make the corner. Well, that has a fairly big impact on the decision making as well. So. Without sitting on the fence, I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm sorry.
Firmly. Hey,
because I can.
Why not? When we look at it, I mean, I understood exactly where Nick was going. I thought the block was on only because I thought the tactic came from you, Nick, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is what I said in the call. I thought the tactical play from you would have been you were happy to let Angus go, but you wouldn't have wanted to see both of them go. You wanted to separate the teammates and at least keep one of them at bay.
Oh, 100%. 2 heads are better than one, so I've got to split them up. I'm fighting by myself up the front there. Jackson's got Angus in his back pocket to help him out. So I just wanted to avoid another Phillip Island getting teamed again. That's the best way to describe it. Getting teamed, because things like Phillip Island without I couldn't get past. I literally could not get past, even on full rich. So I was trying to avoid that. And then on the crisscross, I thought the move was on. I thought that was because he drifted up wide. So I thought, well, holes there, I'm going to try and get in there. So, look, heat of the moment stuff.
It happens.
Like I said, if we're fighting for chocolate chips here, not championships. We're fighting for chocolate chips, but I mean, it's all on the line. There's only 3 to go. We're trying to do the best that we can. We're all playing tactics. Gus is throwing, I'm pitting in about 4 laps before he actually pits in. Yes, I saw that. Just things like that. So I mean, I'm trying to take advantage of the restarts. So it's gamesmanship.
Yeah.
And I just hate car contact. I absolutely hate it. And like I said, I thought both moves are on. And they're just, for some reason, the only car I came in contact with was 57. So
hostilities and rivalries renew next week for you here, same time, same place, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait for that. And we know how much both of those guys love Barber. So it's going to be on like Donkey Kong right here next Friday night. Don't touch the dial. Don't go anywhere. Be with Simshed Broadcasting. Have the footy on in the background, but be with us. Full attention right here next Friday night. I know I'm now definitely looking for a way that we can manage broadcasting from Warwick. I don't care how many dead we wake. We're going to make it happen next Friday night. Don't worry about that. Hey, let's bring Angus back in, and I'll throw the conversation around here as we go. Gus, as a teammate, how do you feel about tonight? I mean, it's obviously great for you to get the W. Disappointing for Jackson to have the result that he did. It has championship implications. Yes, we know countbacks and drop rounds and all that come back into play. As of tonight, we're seriously considering the numbers for the next 2 weeks. But more so, I ask this because, in our opinion, you are the strong link in the Summit Sim Sports squad on the ovals, whereas Jackson's got the measure on the roads. Is that a fair assessment?
100%. I'd say is better all round. I'm just here as the tail gunner having a bit of fun. And,
it's working for you.
Well, that's it. If you're having fun, that's when the results come in. And lately, that's what's been happening for me, having fun, pulling out results. So, I'm happy to say I'll tail gun the rest of the season, absolutely, because I don't think I'll be here for Indy. So, really, although I've got the 2 drop rounds, two's gonna turn to 3, and we don't get 3. That's right. We don't get the 3 drop rounds. So, I'm happy to claim points where I can, claim wins where I can. But all I'd say is Indy's an oval, and it's the last round, and it's double points, isn't it? I think so.
Double,
if I was there, I think you could put money somewhere and maybe make a big return.
The old flexi multi or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly. Hey, Scott, I take it that after the enjoyment you've had last week with Phillip Island, tonight with this, we're going to see you on the IndyCar grid more often.
Look, to be perfectly honest, I've turned a lot of laps on ovals this week and really sort of surprised myself. I was just actually talking to a fair few guys in the background there, tapping away on my keyboard, and they've all just sort of said, congratulations, you've done a really good job. The pace has been there. We're all really proud to see out there. So it's a big shout of appreciation to a lot of guys out there in the club. I was actually going to extend the hand to Nick. Look, mate, I'm here. Do you want a hand?
I've got teammates as well, mate. I just got to get them up to speed.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
Dave got a top 5. And Dave and I have been doing IndyCars from way back, and he's got a couple wins too in official races. So it's not surprising to see him up there.
Probably a good opportunity to bring Julian Mookie and Dave Farrelly back into the discussion. Dave, how hard are these things to master? I mean, we've seen 5 different winners in 8 weeks. Yes, the list of 2-time winners is growing, but it's still like tonight, that podium. Rankin, Mookie, Cook. I mean, we expected Cook up there. A couple of surprises in the top 5, most notably. But how hard is it to master these things?
Oh, I don't know. I just got in and drive.
Not enough.
I did 45 laps after I bought it, because I bought it like at 7, so my first time on it, and I just drove around.
That's what happened with me as well. Buy it in the afternoon, chuck some laps, and see how it goes.
I just found it. I just found my groove, and away I went.
Just look at these blokes making it sound very, very easy for everybody at home. Everyone's going to go out and buy sim rigs tomorrow and set themselves up on Indycars in Milwaukee and say, what the hell are these blokes smoking? Fantastic stuff. Scott, can you answer me one question, because I'm not sure if our audience can see you at the moment. What are you dancing to?
Jimmy Ricard by Hilltop Hoods.
Okay, copy that. Because yes, the replay's still going out, but none of you are on screen at the moment, so aren't you lucky? But that's all good.
Yeah,
and
probably best the public doesn't see that.
yes. Oh no, they have seen it. Okay, copy that. Thank you, JP. There we go. So I'm about 15 seconds behind on the live broadcast. So there's Scott Rankin just busting a move for you, ladies and gentlemen. What an idiot! All right, let's start the conversation.
Oh, okay, all right. Guy having fun. That's the real thing.
Yeah. But our audience at home can't hear the music, so I mean, yeah. To them, it's just looking like someone's had a few too many, and yeah.
Can't hear you rocking out to a disco.
I thought that might be the case. Where do we start with summarising all of that? And I'm not talking about Rankin's dance moves either. Nick, 2 rounds to go. Challenging night for you, challenging night for Jackson. Adam Lavis just continues to be Mr. Consistent, and obviously we know Cookie. This is a race of 4. We think it's going to be a race of 3 if Cookie misses Indy, but this is all to play for. It's a pressure cooker 2 weeks coming up.
Oh, look, I don't think I think it'll be the same guy going into the final round because it's double points. So, yeah, consistency is going to be the key.
Indeed, it is going to be, and we're looking forward to seeing how all that plays out. Julia Mookie, let's come back to you. You've plied your trade at a few of these races over the Gentleman Sim Racing Club season thus far, but IndyCar seems to be where you're finding yourself to be at home. Would I be right in making that assessment?
Yeah, I'm loving the IndyCar. It's got a bit of everything, I guess. So you got your ovals, your road, you got your slicks, your wings, various settings. You can play around in the car. I guess it's a great series, and as the results are shown, there's a good quality drivers up the top, and you don't know who's going to win week out and week in. So,
and the other thing too, Nick, I'll come back to you. It seemed to be again a case of everyone's rocking up for select speedways and everyone's rocking up for the road courses, but Gateway and now Milwaukee have just struggled to attract the entries, but the quality of the show's still been bloody good.
I hope so. Look, part of it, this I guess an experiment is toe in the water, see how some of these guys go on ovals. I mean, it's not translatable to a NASCAR per se, but it's still oval racing. It's still tactics. It's still got to get apexes and straights. So, and a lot of these guys have taken to it like a duck to water. So, rather than being a one-dimensional road course, street course club, let's throw some ovals in there.
Well, that's exactly 100%.
Right. And just sorry to chime in. Look, if anyone in the club is watching this broadcast and they are thinking about dipping their toes in the water, IndyCar is the perfect blend because it's an open wheel car on oval circuits. And if you are looking to get your feet wet, do it. 100% do it. It is a totally different style of racing. The racing itself can be more exciting because it is closer and you're going to be too wide for a large portion of the race. So something completely different.
Rumour has it, and I've been talking to a couple of people off air about it, but rumour has it there's going to be the 50-50 mix when we get to stock cars next season, and that's not something that we've seen before. Does that entice you, particularly Scott Rankin and you, Ben Miller, as guys that haven't been regulars in the stock cars? I know Laser's been in and out a bit, but does that entice you guys to come have a play in the stock cars? And what about you, Angus, as well?
100%. I'm actually just jumped into a trucks race right now. I spent a lot of time racing with some really good American friends in stock cars in other leagues, and I've learned a lot. So honestly, stock cars, they're just like V8 supercars, but just slightly different, and they ride ovals like you would not believe. It's a completely new experience. If you like V8 supercars, again, same thing. Get into it. It is a bunch of fun.
I love that description. Just like supercars, but slightly different. Nice one, Scott. Angus, are you tempted, enticed by the oval and road course mix coming to the stock cars next season in the absence of Indy, of course?
So we'll be moving to F3A. We're up in the Formula 3 Australia Gold Series.
Oh, of course you will be. Yes.
So so we'll be jumping into that. We're missing I think 2 or 3 rounds here, but it's worth it to pull out the end of this championship. So we're gonna diverse next season, and spread out. So I mean, depending on times and stuff, who knows what we'll jump in. we're all keen racers and we all race a lot. So that's not to say that we won't, but yeah, I think we're going to change it up and go Formula 3 racing after we and go and defend our team's championship that we won for Summer Sim Sports.
That's it, and rightly so, because they're also representing the GSRC brand there as well. And what we should point out, too, is that's the pain in the backside when the calendars don't align nice enough for you, because one championship's overlapping with the start of another. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. But
let's not get you started on that sort of stuff, Zach.
Exactly right. You can never be perfect. Just look at Queensland as a case in point. Ben Miller, your thoughts on stock cars, oval, road mix?
I haven't given it much thought. I've done a little bit of it. I'll give it a go. I'm unfortunately not as free as I used to be sort of in the first couple of seasons, so I tend to just get on whatever I can do. Whatever I'm racing, I'm happy racing, so I like to be a bit versatile with it if I can be.
That's the key word there, Chris Whitaker. He's happy with his racing. He's happy just, being in the show. And we treat it seriously. We race for sheep stations. I know that, but at the end of the day, if you're not having fun, you wouldn't be here, would you?
100%, mate. It's exactly as you say. We're not even racing for a piece of plastic like you do in the real world. So it's literally just bragging rights, and that's about it. So bragging rights and an opportunity to throw some banter around, and that's about it. But we obviously enjoy it. That's why we come back week on week as well. So stock cars next season, I'll be keen to get out there for sure. Obviously, road courses, I'll be there. The ovals, we'll see how we go. There's no promises there, but I had quite a few battles with Benny back last year in the stock car days. So keen to see him back out in the track when he can as well. But there's a lot of other guys who weren't part of the club back then as well, who I think really need to get out there and have a bit of a skid in the old heavy lumps of junk and see exactly what it's all about, because there's a lot that you can learn in terms of racecraft and throttle braking modulation, things like that in the stock car that can translate to a lot of the other categories as well. So particularly GT3, the supercars, that sort of stuff. That lot that you learn in the stock car that is sort of amplified, and then you can translate it into the others. It'll definitely help with the racing as well. So it's a bloody hard car to drive, but it's a good sort of I guess training mechanism is probably the better way to put it.
Spoken as a stock car race winner, we might add as well, is our mate Chris Whitaker there. Montreal last year from memory, and he's always back any chance he can get. So looking forward to that. All right, let's talk about Barber. Nick, we know how much you love Barber. We also know how much you're desperate to score a W against your name at least 1 point this season. Opportunities are fast running out. How critical is next week to try and set up the week after and a potential W as far as the whole outright series is concerned, mate?
I'm not desperate for a W. I think Indy might be probably the best chance. In terms of Barber, we know Jackson's his favourite track, but there's going to be a lot of people there to contend with, and a lot of strategy and the like. So it would be interesting if the champion was crowned with no wins, just saying.
Yeah.
But hey, look, it's on for young and old. It's going to be on till the last lap at Indianapolis. Barber's just going to be another stepping stone along the way. Just got to keep an eye on 23, 57, 269.
Yeah, exactly. Keep those names in and numbers in your mindset, ladies and gentlemen, because they're going to be right up there for young and old, even if Gus isn't here on Good Friday. How annoyed would you be, Gus, to let it get to week 9, be right in the hunt, and then realise, oh, damn, I'm not going to be here for week 10, when you're at actual genuine... we know what you can do, and we've seen it in TCR, and that's not so much important these days. Everyone's placing a lot of emphasis on IndyCar this season, though.
Yeah, that's right. I might end up with the old wheel and computer clamped to a camp chair and camp table down in
the generator.
Yeah.
If it's good enough for Rick Kelly, it's good enough for you.
That's it. Done before. It's not the first time.
Timber rig.
Yeah, although the only issue I have with it is I don't want something to fail and then take someone out. So, the champion implication versus, going in and winning it for myself versus taking people out doing so. Also, with the heckling probably going on around me with the 8 families going down.
Yes.
We'll have to suss it out. We'll have to suss it out. But honestly, again, as I said before, if you're having fun in racing, championship isn't necessarily the all be all and end all. Jackson and I are working to get him the championship in IndyCar and working for me in TCR. So the team's working well, and we've got a vision and a direction.
I tell you what, I think Jackson, as much as he enjoyed the W last night, he was a little bit lost without his teammate out there in TCR.
Yeah, I only saw little bits while I was out, quickly tuning into Adam Maverick on Twitch, and yeah, it looked like he had a bit of a lead out the front and a bit of lonely race.
Indeed. Hey, Nick Parianastakis, straight on the ball tonight. He of course, was part of the field. Him and Yanni Sordaria come and had a good run for CMR Racing. That was good to see. We need an oval series. We had one last season late in the piece, if memory serves. Adam Lavis organised one on a Thursday night, but I think there's a lot of momentum coming towards oval racing. Yes, it's a different discipline. Have we got enough room in our schedule for it, though?
Oh, it's looking pretty full, hence why I tried to add them into this. Adam has been trying to do some stuff on Sunday nights, but once again, it all comes to people's availability and the availability of our calendar, because as you've seen, it's quite chock-a-block.
And the good thing we like about this club is we have 10 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 10 weeks on, 2 weeks off. But it was 1 week off last year and back in, but this year we're stabilising it like a school term. We're a school year. We're trying to make it 2 weeks off so that everyone has a chance to regroup for 1 week. And that's more a committee standpoint thing as well, because if you go straight from racing into pre-qualifying week straight into racing, they don't get a chance to switch off. So that's why they're trying to break that up this year. 10 weeks, 2 weeks, 10 weeks, 2 weeks, 10 weeks, 2 weeks, 10 weeks, and then 6 weeks off in the summer. And that's a good thing too, because Fuels the Fire gets everybody keen for the first few weeks of the season, but also gets them that opportunity to unwind at the end of the first, second, third, etc. And I, for one, am looking forward to that as well, because there's a big schedule coming up as far as real world stuff is concerned. And on the subject of comedy, you might want to get yourself to Lakeside on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to that. Chris Whitaker, I know you'll be out there, but let me ask you, because next week you and I are heading to Morgan Park in Warwick. Have you got the rig ready to rock and roll, mate?
I'm not sure it's going to happen now, mate, to be honest.
Okay.
It's other commitments possibly getting in the way, so we'll try to get out there on Sunday, see how we go, just for a look. But yeah, we've got 1 3/4 cars ready to go. Brendan's car's running again, just needs a new wiring harness and a set of boots and a tune, and then he's back on the track as well. So, but yeah, a bit disappointing that we don't get out there next week. But if these things happen, there'll be another race meet at a venue that allows enough kilometres in a race meeting in the near future. And yeah, we'll get out there and have a play. But yeah, it is what it is, mate. So we'll see how we go. If the wind stays up for Sunday, I'll come out for a look at Lakeside. If the wind's down, then I'm going to go fishing. So yeah, either way, it's a win.
Well, apparently, if you're coming to Lakeside on Sunday, you best bring a raincoat, according to the forecast I've seen. So that could be very interesting indeed.
Lakeside it is then.
Nothing like using technology on at an antiquated facility where you can't find anywhere to waterproof yourself. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's throw the conversation around. Barber Motorsports Park, Gus. It's one of Jackson's favourites. It's one of Nick's favourites. I can't wait. So I'm sure you're looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever raced there is a Skip Barber. So that's pretty much, I mean, it's an open wheeler at least. But
True.
It's definitely not the same as an IndyCar around there, I'm sure. I saw a bit of IndyCar testing. Again, can't really take much from that because they're doing it in the real world, not in the sim. So again, probably jump in Friday, Arvo, get in practice and jump in and see where it takes me. As with all road courses, it's going to be, we've got a strategy for road courses that's been working great for us, worked to Phillip Island, and we'll look to execute that again. And yeah, I reckon we've got a very high chance of executing successfully.
I think I should let my good mate Parianastakis know, because he's sitting here putting comments away on the broadcast. You are actually allowed to come into Discord and have a chat to us during the broadcast, mate. You are more than welcome in to come and have a chat to us anytime you like. We always love hearing from from the Peugeot man himself. And, of course, he'll be at Sydney Motorsport Park in May for the Sydney 300, and we wish him all the very best of luck with that. Cookie's just shut the camera off, so he's getting ready to say 9 eyes.
It'll be back soon.
I thought that might be the case. Are you, you're not doing the Uber stuff tonight? You're just sitting there with us patiently, are you? Good boy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, Nick Barber, I mean, road course, last one of the series, and a genuine racetrack that throws up terrific racing no matter where you are in the pack. I think next Friday night, all eyes need to be right here.
Oh, look, it's great circuit, but as you know, especially in sim racing, that feel for the tyre, feel for the track, there's going to be accidents left, right and centre, initially anyway. And it's a roller coaster. It's up, down, over crests of hills, and all sorts of things. So that's one of the best parts about that place. So, yeah, let's see what happens.
Scott, you're getting video bombed, by the way, just so you know.
What a fine job she's doing.
Yeah. You had someone just sitting there, peering in, having a look at what's going on. She's
just curious as to how far away I am from being ready to go to bed, because she's had enough. It's been a long week for us. So
true. Just have a look. Can we get a shot on Angus Cook's Discord here, please, Director? Just have a look at Mr. Promote the sponsors go here.
Well, it's club sponsor Flash Graphics. Why wouldn't I?
Look at the setup. You've completed the set here, mate. Very nicely done. Well done. I'll pay that. That's good stuff. I'm almost disappointed that Chris and I are going to be in the commentary box next week, because Barber sounds like a tremendous amount of fun. Scott Rankin, do you have any thoughts on Barber for me?
Never turned a lap there, so honestly can't. I often hear things like, "Oh, you should pick it up. You should definitely race there." So look, open wheelers are probably going to be my target for next season. So yeah, I said to a few people that we're trying to really lift my road skills and things, that I wanted to target open wheelers. Well, I'm going to have to pick it up now, aren't I? So
exactly. Hey, that being said, if you don't start in the open wheeler next Friday night, we might have you in the com box if Paul Nichols or myself are not available, given that I'm still working out where I'm going to be as far as Morgan Park is concerned, whether I'm going to be in a position to commentate or not. Again, it depends on hotel guests and neighbours and curfews and noise restrictions and all that BS as per usual. But I think the time difference up here, as much as I hate it, might actually work in my favour next week, because people are going to be a lot happier if I shut up by 9 o'clock, and then rather than if I shut up by 10 o'clock. So I think that might actually work in my favour next week. First time for everything, eh? Driver of the night nominations. First up from you, Nick, for the first race, Freaky Friday, of course, won by Angus Cook. And then you, Chris Whitaker, for the Indycar race, also, funnily enough, won by Angus Cook. First Friday night double of the season.
Well, it's hard to look past Angus, isn't it?
It is. Very true. Although Matthew Dempsey wanted to give a nod to earlier.
Yeah, exactly. He stamped his name all over it, and thoroughly deserved. Well driven all night.
I know earlier you mentioned Matthew Dench in the earlier race, because he moved his way up from 30th to 7th. But yeah, hard to look past Cookie when it's a double on a Friday night. And two, I mean, Chris Whitaker, they're both open wheelers. They're not, very similar cars. Great difference in speed and everything else. And of course, you're going from a road track to an oval. But this guy towed him up tonight.
Can I just stop you there on the Matthew Dench comment? Actually, I'd like to point out he actually had the fastest lap of the race in the Indycars as well.
Yeah, so he's had a real good night out. I mean, obviously the result in IndyCar maybe, aside, but yeah, consistency starting to creep in there as well, which is really good to see. And again, we've been saying it all season. The list of names that we've got to keep an eye out for, Scott, it's growing, which is a good thing for the club and a good thing for competition.
It is. I mean, we talk through the likes of some of the up and coming fields. Like I've constantly been this season saying how much Dylan Gray's improved. Hodak is starting to really stop pulling his punches and start throw his hand through with everything he's got. Obviously, Cook, the guys at Summit Sim Sports have been on the money. Julian, look at how well Julian has raced the last couple of races. Yep. So he's picked up quite a few good results. So I'm trying not to toot the Tech One Sim Sports horn, but Lee Williamson as well has been absolute. He's been right on the verge of having a phenomenal season. I think he's finally cracked it this season. So
That was also interesting too. No Brady McHugh on the grid tonight, as far as the
he's got a lot of work commitments at the moment. So he's just moved houses and work commitments have changed. So he's just trying to get things sort of settled down. So
very hard to juggle everything when everything's getting back up to full tempo. Had it been this time last year, different story. Thank Christ it isn't a repeat, I have to say. I'm getting a nod there from Chris Whitaker as well. All right, so Chris, before we let anyone else interrupt you, Driver of the Night nomination, is it going to the man alongside you in Discord here, Angus Cook, or is it going somewhere else?
It is going to the guy alongside me here in Discord, but I'm going a little bit against the grain. I'm sorry, Cookie. I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go with this guy over here. I'm going to go with Mr. Rankin because I did not expect him to, A, finish on the lead lap, and B, get a podium. So
piss off! Not welcome to the lead lap. What? I finished on the lead lap in both of them. Thanks, Chris. We had a great drag race to the line in the Skip Barbers.
That's what you get for beating me by 100th of a second in the Skippies. Go throw you under the bus.
Okay. Can I just point out at this point of the time, you heard about 5 minutes ago Chris Whitaker say something about going fishing on Sunday. He just finished his fishing trip.
Hook, line, and sinker. Got him.
Nick, sadly, the top 5 streak comes to an end, but you've still finished every lap of the IndyCar series thus far. That's one thing to take out of tonight, I guess.
Yeah, there was a mistake, so I shouldn't have finished on the lead lap. There was actually
we thought that.
And
claim it, Nick. Shh, don't tell him.
Look, we all make mistakes. I was actually going to go have a meeting with race control afterwards, but he seems to have disappeared now. But look, yes, the streak continues. However, it's a bit of a false positive there. But look, like Scott said, I'll take it. But
exactly.
It's probably going to be my drop round.
All right. Apologies also. We should point out at this point in time that even though we are past 7:30 in Western Australia and Scott Rankin can just get away with his comment, if there is anyone that takes offence to any of the language there, I apologise on his behalf.
Your complaints to Scott Rankin at scottrankin.com.
Yeah, exactly right.
Twitch.tv/Rankonius.
There you go. There's where you're sending your complaints, ladies and gentlemen. What about that for a self-plug? Fair dinkum. All right, I think we're done on that note. Angus Cook getting the job done in both races tonight in IndyCar. It was Scott Rankin, Julian Mookie, Ben Miller, and Laser Dave Farrelly rounding out the top 5. In the earlier race, Freaky Friday, the top 5 was Cook from Cousins, Luke Turner, Julian Mookie. So 2 top 5s for Mookie tonight, and Scott Rankin 5th as well, just ahead of our mate Chris Whitaker there in 6th. The Mookie Rankin combination, Rankin the big mover in all of that. He went up 3 spots. Mookie went up 1 from race to race. So how about that? Really good stuff yet again here. Friday Night Motorsport. It doesn't get better than that. Good stuff. Chris Whitaker, a final thought from you, of course. We know where I'm heading this weekend. What have you got to look forward to?
I'll see if I can run the mower around the yard and maybe a couple of beers. And we're just going to see what the weather's doing for Sunday, mate. So by the sound of things, I'll be seeing you probably about 9 o'clock and looking forward to some daytime fireworks.
Hey, Chris, can I save you some time, mate? That Skip Barber you were running in the first race made a great lawnmower, mate. You don't need to do that again.
Oh,
I didn't get on the grass, but it was just the dirt, so it's all good.
Yeah, they don't go as well as on the dirt as they do the grass, but that's another story for another day. But, mate, Nick, thank you very much for your expert comments in the first race. Chris, thank you very much for stepping in for Paul Nichols in the second race. Always enjoy sharing the booth with you, and thankfully, I wasn't the one getting thrown under the bus tonight, so I'll take that as a small win and only just.
Thanks for everything, mate.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm gonna wrap it up on that note before you do have the chance to. Looking ahead, as far as the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club is concerned, we couldn't do it without the great people that support us, of course, right throughout the season. And that goes from Rockdale Volkswagen through to Sharp Extensive I.T, Flash Graphics, Stone Cold Racing, Adam St. John, and the great people at the Wabundry Hotel. If you're still there drinking up, ladies and gentlemen, finish the glass, go and order another one. Keep our boys happy down there and girls as well. Oculair Aerial Photography, Simple Sim Computers, Ray White, Gaindar, Pete Matson and his team, and of course Motorfocus Quality Scale Models, and Paul Nichols and the great people at the Central Coast Motor Group Fleet and Corporate. Looking ahead as far as SimShed Broadcasting is concerned, even though I haven't got the stream here to help me out here, I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going with this. Tuesday night, join us for the NTS Supercar Series. Of course, the V8 Super Series heads to Watkins Glen after a week off. It's round 6. It's the first of a 12-week swing to get us through to the end of the season. That is from 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Myself and Chris Kisby in the commentary box for you. And then on Wednesday night from the same time, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time, Matt Davis, Aidan Schultz with you for the T2 E-Series, the development series for the NTS Championship. That's with thanks to Goodyear Auto Care Warana. The Abruzzi Cup, the NASCAR stuff on Thursday night. That's, of course, I believe, 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And then it's from 7:40 every Friday night Eastern Daylight Time for at least the next couple of weeks. It is Freaky Friday into IndyCar, Sharp Extensive I.T, Motorfocus Indycar racing right here for the Friday Night Motorsport doubleheader as far as the Gentleman Sim Racing Club is concerned. And we now launch into the final fifth of Season 1. And I say Season 1 advisedly because there are another 3 after that. So if this 10 weeks doesn't fill your appetite, hopefully the other 30 will. Otherwise, we're not doing a good enough job. It all continues next week. There's plenty to look forward to as we press towards the back end of March and the back end of the season. Monday night, we're up and away with the Intro to Wings series for Ray White Gaindar. That's coming up from Phoenix Raceway, Phoenix International Raceway, that is, of course. The oval there in Arizona. That is followed by, and I know Chris Whitaker will be looking forward to this, nighttime racing around the Twin Ring Motegi as far as the GT3 series is concerned. And Chris, before I go on and look at anything else, the fact that we do get to go nighttime racing for the second time this season for the GTs, I mean, we're not sure if Shane Wallace is going to come in and clean up again, but night racing's added a whole new component, a whole new level of interest to that series. And I think it's going to be pretty good viewing on Monday night.
Yeah, I'm actually intrigued because I thought it was supposed to be a night race as well, but looking at the server setup, it looks like it's going to be an afternoon race. So whether it makes it into just dusk or something like that, I'm not sure. So we've been practicing on both the night circuit and a late afternoon circuit as well. So believe it or not, the Beamer seems to have a little bit of pace for a change, which is good. Still that usual half a second off Luke Turner, but you know it's what happens when you're racing against aliens. So these things happen. But yeah, no, the car feels pretty good. Setup's pretty good. Just got to work on a little bit of tyre life. But yeah, if it's going to be a night race, then we'll be fine for tyre life. But yeah, just with that little bit of extra UV, it's burning them up a little bit. But no, looking forward to it. Love the track. Yeah, stuck a couple of hours practicing, so we'll see what comes of it on Monday night.
It is a new track for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, but it is the end of our Oriental swing. Of course, we had Japanese circuits on the agenda in week 7, 8, and then 9 as well. Wednesday night, we turn our attention to a double supercars night of action for you, double header as far as the supercars are concerned. Legacy Supercars first up for the up-and-comers when they head to Phillip Island in round 9, and that's, of course, with thanks to the Wabundri Hotel. Then, of course, round 9 of the Stone Cold Racing Supercar Series from Detroit, Michigan. The Grand Prix of Belle Isle circuit there. Looking forward to that. And that is all happening from, I've got 20 past 7 Eastern Daylight Time here on my sheet as race start time. So it'll be 7:15 Eastern Daylight Time for you next Wednesday night. Thursday night, we stay at Phillip Island, or at least head back there in this case. For the doubleheader, the Pilot Series into the Rockdale Volkswagen Porsche GT3s. They were, of course, at Oran Park last night. They head south to Phillip Island, and that's all coming away from 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. And then, of course, on Friday night, I've already mentioned, 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time. You don't want to be anywhere else than here. I'll be trying to find a way to do it from on location in Morgan Park in Warwick, and that is going to be an absolute beauty. Freaky Friday first up from 7:40, and then we launch into the penultimate round of what's been an intriguing IndyCar series that has fast become the must-do event within the calendar of championships that we have here, and there's a whole catalogue of them within the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and it's testament to the great racing that we've seen over the 8 weeks thus far that there's huge momentum behind it for the next 3 seasons as well. And we know that it's locked in for season 3. We're just waiting about 2 and 4, but looking forward to it immensely. Barber Motorsport Park, the venue. And if you watched any of the action we brought you from Barber Motorsport Park in the past, you'll know that it always throws up good racing. It doesn't matter what car we've got as the showpiece on the vehicle on the occasions. So be here next Friday night. Be here all next week, actually, across SimShed Broadcasting and the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Of course, Friday nights on SimShed Broadcasting, the GSRC action continues across Twitch and Facebook through our broadcast page, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's it. We're done. Scott Rankin, thank you. Angus Cook, thank you. To all the drivers that have stuck around and had a chat with us throughout the course of the night, thank you to you as well. Dave Farrell is still in the house. Good to see him here too. Of course, a nice top 5 finish for him tonight. Good to have your company at home wherever you've been tuning in around Australia, around the world. In fact, with the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and it always throws up. When we arrive, we just throw the script out the window. We just don't really know what's going on. Have a look at Rankin in the top corner. If you've still got the drivers on the screen there at home, by the way, just have a look at him doing his Wiggles impersonation, driving the big red car. That's fantastic. I love it. That's it from us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, we arrive, anywhere between 7 and 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. We rip up the script because you just don't know what's going to be served up. You think you know what you're going to see, and as the first lap or two of the Freaky Friday outing proved, rip up the script and start again because you just don't know what's going to be served up, and that's what makes it intriguing viewing. We hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. Have a great weekend, everybody. If you're going to Kawangba, I'll see you there on Sunday, and trust me, if you like fireworks, I'd be there early. And of course, we're looking forward to plenty of great action as far as Real World Motorsport is concerned, and Sim World Motorsport as well. And if you've got any spare time left with your weekend, the Ipswich Jets play tomorrow. I'm ground announcing for the opening round of the Intrust Super Cup Rugby League competition up here in Queensland. And, of course, before that, 9 till 12 Queensland time, 10 to 1 Eastern Daylight Time on West Bremer Radio. I'm looking forward to that as well. So a big weekend coming up. And then the roller coaster ride continues as we launch into the final 2 weeks of Season 1 of 4 in 2020. Until then, for the team, on behalf of Chris Whitaker, Nick Fodiatis, and all of our crew here, JP behind the scenes and Adam Lavis as well, I'm Zach Cabe. And have a great night and a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for your company. Angus Cook doing the double in a Friday Night Motorsport double header special. Until we see you next time, it's bye for now.